brilliant. We could not tell until today which lefty Jew is Erev Rav and which lefty Jew is just an innocent fool that was fooled by others. It was not so possible to know. They all speak against religion. They all speak against the Israeli army. They're all pro-Hamas. They're all pro-gays. They're all pro-everything God hates. And they all hate what God loves. So it's very hard to tell. Now, the left is split to two groups in the last month. Because most of the people that got killed in this massacre are lefties. Most of the people the Hamas killed are lefty liberals. So the lefty liberals that survive, or their friends that are kidnapped, or family members, or friends that died, opened up their eyes. We've been giving our life to help Palestinians, to support Hamas. We were for giving them land, for peace. We wanted to live next to them in peace. And now what happened? They came and murdered us after we gave our life for them, for decades. So what happened? No more hypocrisy. That's it. We're not going to be lefty liberals anymore. Gaza must be wiped out. We can't live there until there will not be one building left. That's how they talk now. Okay. Better late than never. It took decades to open up their eyes. Without this tragedy, and it would take another 50 years for them to open up their eyes. Now when it's on their skin, they open up their eyes. But you'll be shocked. Not all of them. Some of them continue to support Hamas. Now at least we know which lefty was just a naive fool that was blinded by the media and by the other Erev Rav, and which lefty is 100% Erev Rav, that there's no way to fix them. This Erev Rav, it's cancer in the heart of the Jewish nation from the time Moshe took them out of Egypt, 3,300 years, they eat our heart. Always betray us, always cooperate with our enemies, and they have inside them a part of Amalek, this kind of Erev Rav. Among them is the woman, Imach Shima V'Zichra, 1,000 times Imach Shima V'Zichra. She's one of the biggest enemy of the Jewish nation in the world today. And she's the Attorney General. She basically kidnapped Israel now, together with her friends in the Supreme Court. She makes all the decision, what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say, what the Prime Minister can say, what he can do, what he cannot do. So right away, all she cares about that these murderers who shot and raped people and burned them alive and put babies inside the microwave and turned it on, that they get rights. That's all she cares about. She can sleep at night. That some of these terrorists now are being held in jail, too many in a room, or things like that. It drives her crazy. You know, so guess what? In Israel, there is a rabbi that everyone loves. Everyone loves him. Why? You can see he's a pure, very good person. Very good person. There's nothing evil about him, not even a drop. His name is Rav Grossman from Migdal HaEmek. He has yeshiva, he has institution. He's an older man, probably close to his 80 already. He was a candidate to be the chief rabbi, the Ashkenazi chief rabbi of Israel. He's endorsed by the richest people in the world. They helped them to develop the city of Migdal HaEmek, to buy a lot of apartments for his Baalei Tshuva people. He used to go to bars, speak to secular people, get them out, bringing them closer to the Torah. His approach is the softest approach. He's not the type to speak Musar or to rebuke. He does it with love, with hugging, you know, this style of kiruv. Okay. So therefore, the secular people, 99% of them, they love him. He's not a threat to them. He doesn't speak, Mechalel Shabbat Mot Yumat, what's waiting for you in the next world or anything like that. That's not his type. His style is just to hug and to compliment and to try to show people the greatness of Judaism without being harsh. You got the point? For those of you who do not know who he is. So today, this Attorney General, Ymach Shima, ordered the Israeli police to call him for an investigation. They're going to investigate this righteous man. What's the crime he allegedly committed? I'll give you 100 guesses. You will never guess. In your wildest dream, you will never guess. Even if I tell you that they did such a thing in Nazi Germany before the Holocaust, you would not believe. You wouldn't believe it. But in Israel, it happened today. Do you know what they want to investigate him for? For coming to give a speech to a group of soldiers somewhere before they went to the battle and did Shema Israel with them. Do you understand what I just said or no? For a rabbi to say Shema Israel with soldiers, they want to prosecute him. They want him to have a criminal record. Do you understand who control Israel? Please don't ever forget this. Our enemies are them, not the Hamas. The Hamas are the contractors for them. They activate the Hamas. People like Bernie Sanders and his friends. But in Israel, you have people that Bernie Sanders, compared to them, is a tzaddik. The people that control Israel, Bernie Sanders is a Raidi compared to them. This communist, self-hated Jew, Bernie Sanders, he is a Raidi compared to those lefties. That's how wicked they are. Aaron Barak and this Attorney General and many of those lawyers who work in the prosecution, it drives them crazy to see anything that smells like Jewish. Nothing. They can't take it. They already announced a week ago that they are following and monitoring all the soldiers and the generals who gave motivation speech to their soldiers before they got to risk their life. And many of them died, unfortunately. Some of those soldiers didn't come back. So they are monitoring and recording and keep record of every general that spoke words of Torah to his soldiers before they went to the battle. That once the war will be over, they will prosecute them. Do you understand what country we live in? Now people are asking why such a horrible tragedy happened in Israel. The tragedy, if you ask me, one of the reasons. There could be thousands of reasons. And we don't know for sure. I wish we would know. We don't have prophets today to tell us exactly. But we are allowed to guess. It's not a crime to guess. It's actually an obligation to guess. If you are a God-fearing person, everything that happens around you in the world, you immediately have to search for the hand of God, for God's fingerprints in what just happened. Why did He allow it to happen? Why did we hear this person say such a thing? Why did we have so many casualties? Everything that happens, for good and for bad, we have to immediately try to think why God is doing it to me or to them or to all of us. That's the way we have to look at the world. A believer can never take anything for granted as an act of nature, as a random thing or coincidence. We know, we spoke about it thousands of times. So if I have to guess, me personally, based on everything I learned over the years, one of the reasons that Hashem is very angry at us is because we left those traders alone. We could have put an end to them. We had the power. We are the majority. All we needed to do is to tell them, we catch you and throw you out of Israel to Gaza. Take this attorney general, put her in a trunk, drive her to the border, and dump her. Just like that. on the other side of it. Don't dare to ever come back to Israel, you traitor. You're lucky we don't put you in jail for life. You betray your nation. Because of you, soldiers are dying every day. Because of you, terrorists get strength to come and shoot kids and to rape them. You are the reason. And few thousands of your friends who are in charge of every courtroom. Yesterday in Queens, I said about this judge, Imach Shimo, another lefty liberal from Tel Aviv, who refused to start a Zoom meeting in a court, because now, he can't come physically to the court because of the situation. He did not agree to start the case until they removed the Israeli flag and the sign, Am Yisrael Chai. He refused to start. You don't get the point. I know it's hard to understand what I'm telling you. Imagine a judge in United States court anywhere in America that say, I refuse to start until you remove the American flag and the sign that we have, long live America. You have a sign in a courtroom, let's say, and an American flag, and the liberal judge refused to. Here in America, you also have liberals. A lot of the judges are Democrats. But I won't believe that a Democratic judge, lefty liberals, will say, I refuse to start until you remove the American flag from the courtroom or from the police station. Police station. They have criminals. The judge has to speak to them and to their lawyer on a Zoom. And behind the criminals, you have the Israeli flag and long live Israel. He said, what does it have to do with our case? They say we want to give our people, workers, comfort. A lot of the friends died here. So we hope that the Jewish nation will not die here today. I mean, long live Israel. You an Israeli? You a judge? Or you a Hamas terrorist? What are you? In case you think that this judge is the only one, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Almost every one of them in Israel is like this garbage. Almost every judge. And that's now you understand what the Gemara said, that one of the conditions before Hashem will bring the Mashiach, the Messiah, is to get rid of all the wicked judges. That finally there will be some justice in the land. Because lack of justice and such corruption, kids, 6 years old, he forced the entire Jewish nation to learn Torah. He actually declared someone who would not learn Torah will be stepped to death, will get execution. The king is above the law. For instance, the Torah doesn't say to kill thieves. Someone stole, according to the Torah, he has to return what he stole, and he has a penalty. You stole 1,000, you pay an extra 1,000. It's knas. Sanhedrin can rule a knas. Today we don't even have Sanhedrin, we don't even have the kefel, the knas. But in general, you don't get a death penalty for being a thief. But if the king got angry already, too many thieves, and he wants to put an end to it, he can declare, the next thief that we will catch, I will chop his head off. Why? Let's see if anyone would dare to steal ever again. People get scared. Who wants to get his head chopped off? Or to execute him in any other way. So if they caught a thief and they found him guilty, after my warning, you still stole, the king can kill him. But it's not what the Torah said to do to thieves. But the king is above the law. So the king Chizkiyahu, there's no death penalty for someone that does not learn Torah. In the next world, there's going to be a severe punishment for not learning Torah. Because Hashem even agreed sometimes to forgive the worst 3 sins in the Torah, Gilui Arayot, Shfichut Damim, and Avodah Zarah, meaning sex crimes, the most severe sex crimes, which some of them have death penalty, and idol worshipping, and murder. Gilui Arayot, Shfichut Damim, and Avodah Zarah. Those 3, a person has to die not to agree to commit. So as bad as the sin is, there is a situation that if a person repents and does what needs to be done, Hashem is willing to forgive even those horrible sins. It's not easy, but it's possible. But the Torah said that there's one thing Hashem refused to forgive, is bitul Torah. ויתר הקדוש ברוך הוא על 3 העבירות, גילוי עריות, שפיכות דמים ועבודה זרה, ולא ויתר על ביטול תורה. Refuse to forgive people that disrespect the Torah and don't care and don't learn. Just like לימוד תורה כנגד כולם, learning Torah is greater than anything. Not learning Torah is worse than anything. Okay, so we get the point. So King Chizkiyahu, when his father died, what do you think he did to his father? When a person's fathers die, what does he do? He ripped his clothes, his funeral. He can't even put tefillin until the death is buried. He can't take shower, meat, wine, all these mourning laws. Can't hear music for 1 year. Cannot go to weddings, parties. There's a lot of restrictions to someone who mourns his parents. Wait, we didn't get to it yet. So, obviously, when a person's father dies or mother, there's laws of mourning, how you should mourn them. So, imagine someone's father died, not only he doesn't see tshiva, he takes haircut, he shaves his beard as usual, he listens to music and make a party. Why are you making a party? You got dressed nice, you fix your beard, had a nice haircut. Your father just died 2 hours ago. He was just buried. He's supposed to mourn. So what's the law? Someone that rebelled against God, you don't see tshiva on him. You get dressed nicely, the Rambam writes, and that's the law in Shulchan Aruch, and you rejoice. Rejoice. What do you mean? He's his father. Father, brother, mother. Wicked, anti-God person, there is no obligation to mourn them. You eat well, you dress well, and you make a party. Did you ever know that? Why today we don't do it? Did you ever hear about someone in Israel or in America that his parent died? As wicked as he was. Halel Shabbat, thief, idol worshipper, Jews for JC, all these horrible, wicked people. I didn't hear ever that the family made a party, assuming he has a religious son, Baal Tshuva, and his father is a very wicked gangster or something. Did you ever hear that instead of sitting Shiva and people come to the house, he makes a party with some good music and gives some barbecue? Why are you so happy? My wicked father died. Did you ever see such thing? Usually I don't think anyone has the guts to do it. But I'm just telling you what the law is. But nowhere you hear that someone will tie his father with a rope to a horse and will drag to the tail of the horse and will drag his body all over town when people standing and watching. There's one thing, you don't mourn. You take shower, you fix your beard, you listen to music, you don't see tshiva, you go to work as usual. Okay, you don't mourn. There is one more level, not only not to mourn, but at the same time to rejoice. That's already a higher level. And there is even a higher level than that, is to do such thing, to tie the body to a horse and drag him on the streets of the town. Who would do such thing to his father? The answer, King Chizkiyahu, perhaps the most righteous king in the history of Israel. No one made the Jewish nation so righteous like in his days. That's what the Torah says. So why would they do such thing to his father? The answer, because his father was a lefty liberal trader. Traders, that's what you have to do to them, Hashem says. There's a difference between wicked person that died and a wicked person that was also a trader that will decide to join the enemy and help them. Not only fighting against God, joining the enemies, like Neturei Karta, these fools, standing in Manhattan with Palestinian flag 2 days after they butchered 12 of 1,300 Jewish kids and girls and women and old people and Holocaust survivors. How do they not have a shame to show their face in public holding the filthy flag of those Nazis? There's one thing you hate, the Zionists, the communists, the wicked people who came to Israel and made kibbutzim and moshavim fighting the religion. We also are obligated to hate them. People who goes against God, people who wants to destroy and burn the Torah, you must hate them. The Torah is not double-faced. The Torah cannot stand hypocrisy. You have to love the righteous and you have to hate the wicked, unless the wicked have no idea what they are doing, meaning they raised them in Siberia. They don't even know they're Jewish, no circumcision, they don't know what Shabbat is. They don't even know anything. Okay, that's a different story. That's called Tinok Shenishba. But if they know there is a God, they know there is such a thing, Torah, they know there is such a word, Shabbat, a special day. They don't know the laws, but they heard about it. They see people living according to this Torah. They see religious people everywhere. They're already guilty. Why? Why didn't you come to investigate? You see thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people with yarmulke and tzitzit and beards and all that, and they have strict laws and they live by a book. They don't move an inch left and right. All around you, cousins, friends, neighbors, colleagues at work. You see people pray at your office, mincha, shachrit. You see in the airport, religious people stand on the side and pray, or in the airplane. Where were you 7 years? You didn't care to check what these Jews are doing? Maybe I live in a lie? I gave you a brain and intelligence to use it. You didn't use it, you are 100% guilty. If you're born in Uganda, or Zimbabwe, or in the Caribbean, or in Siberia, and you never saw Jews in your life, your father had you over there, and then someone kidnapped you, and that's it. You grew up with non-Jews, and you don't have any idea. Okay, so you're not guilty. Anus Rachmana Patre, someone that is not guilty, Hashem has mercy on him. He had no way to know he's a Jew. You get the point. But the father of King Chizkiyahu was not someone who didn't know. He knew God. Everyone in those days were religious. He dragged his father's body in the middle of town. Why am I telling you all of that? Not that I'm suggesting that we should do it to the traders. No. It's a different world today. We don't have Sanhedrin. We don't have king. We cannot make up rules, even though those were the rules in those days and people actually did it. Today, you cannot do anything before you ask a big rabbi. You have to ask a big chacham, because sometimes even what's allowed doesn't pay to do it. Sometimes, if you're going to do what the halacha says right now, the damage you can cause to the Jewish nation sometimes can be so bad, you know. So if that's the case, we would lose a lot more than what we gain. That's why you need to ask a chacham. You know, sometimes it's better not to talk. Sometimes you must talk. You need to know. Sometimes when you talk, you lose more than you gain. So we have to know, Rabotai, there's so many laws, and there are so many things that are sensitive. You have to know what to do. So this is what's happening. They take a rabbi close to 80 years old that all his life tried to bring Jews to Judaism, to do nice things, nice to so many people, help so many people. You can see in his personality. There's really nothing bad about him. That's why nobody hates him. The secular, I'm talking the secular people, if there is a strict rabbi, some of them hates him because he tells them the truth in their face. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear what the Torah says about Mechalel Shabbat, or a gay, or a thief, or an idol worshipper. They don't want to hear it. When you tell them the truth, they get angry. But him, since he always speak to them only positive and hug them, and didn't create enemies. But the Erev Rav doesn't matter how righteous you are. It doesn't matter how much you kiss up to them. And he was nice even to them, believe me, even to them. He was sometimes on TV shows. He was too nice to them. And what happened? Now he fell in their hands. Sometimes you try to do something in order for you to bring people, maybe not to hate the religion, to open up their heart. But I'm talking about myself and everyone else, we have to know to draw the line. How far we are willing to go and compromise with the wicked because we want to bring them closer to the Torah. Because we have a rule. It's a solid rule. Everyone will tell you that rule. You don't have permission to lower the Torah to the level of the wicked people in order for them to love the Torah. You have permission to raise the wicked people from their low level to the level of the Torah. Find a way. There are many ways. One will do it in a strict way, one will do it in a soft way, one will speak mainly about Emunah. All kinds of things. One way to make people Baalei Tshuva is to pay them money. Come, I'll pay you for every hour you come to learn in yeshiva, I'll pay you money. If you're rich, you have a cousin, he's Mechalel Shabbat. So you know what, every day you come learn 1 hour, I don't know, I'll give you $100. You can afford it. 5-6 days he comes, he begins to fall in love with the Torah. Then he says, you don't have to pay me. I mean, I enjoy, you have to pay me? No, I don't want to take. Thank you very much. You saved him. He's starting to learn. A year or two later, you don't recognize him already. There are many ways to do kiruv. You can argue which one are more productive and which one are less productive. But one thing the Torah say, there is no permission to compromise with the truth of God to any wicked person. There's no such thing. Okay, you know what? For now you can do this. Okay, if you do this, okay, I will allow you to do that as well. No. Hafetz Chaim, he was on the way to a city, and he had to stop in a motel. You know, in those days, you had the horses and this. Sometimes it's snowing, you have to stop in a motel. The motel had Jews and non-Jews, you know. So now the Hafetz Chaim met over there a Jew, secular Jew. This was close to 100 years ago. Started to talk to him about Judaism. And that Jew was on the way to a trading weekend, you know, one of those shows that people bring their merchandise to sell. And the show is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just like today. And Hafetz Chaim say to him, do you know about Shabbat, the importance of Shabbat? You want to go do business on Shabbat? Hafetz Chaim explained to him the whole thing about Shabbat. This Jew, he said to the Hafetz Chaim, wow, I didn't know all these things. I promise you, Rabbi, that I will become Shomer Shabbos, but not from this Shabbat, from the next one. Because now I already arrived all the way to the town. I bought my merchandise. I must sell it. I paid for the fair. So Rabbi, just allow me this Shabbat, and that's it. I won't make ever plans to do business on Shabbat. I'll keep Shabbat the right way. Wouldn't you be so happy? What an achievement. No, yalla. He didn't keep thousands of Shabbatot in his life, or hundreds. What's another one? In order for him from now on to be Shomer Shabbat for the rest of his life, let's compromise. Yalla, okay, deal. Break this Shabbat, and from next Shabbat, you give me a word. You would be very honored. Wow, I made Baal Tshuva, no? But the Hafetz Chaim, he was straight like a ruler. He said to him, if I was the master of Shabbat, I was the partner of God to the system, to the laws of the Torah, then it would be up to me to allow you. But since I do not own the Shabbat belongs to Hashem. It's a covenant that Hashem made with us. We don't have permission to violate Shabbat even one more time. How will I allow to do it to you? Similar, by the way, to a person that is a mass murderer, serial killer. Every day kills someone. And now, he brought to justice, and the king said to him, I'm willing to make a deal with you. If you promise you'll never kill anyone, I would let you off the hook. You can go back and live your life. But I need you to give me a word that you won't kill another person. And this person said to the king, no problem, I'm giving you my word, but I have one more person to kill. One more person. After that, no more killing. Can the king agree to such a deal? Now, what's worse? Killing someone or breaking Shabbat? According to the Torah, not according to New York Times. According to the Torah, what crime is bigger in the eyes of God? I didn't write the Torah. Don't blame me. Okay? So, in case you're getting angry, the address is over there. www.divine. Speak to Hashem. Ask him why it's so severe to break Shabbat in your eyes, even worse than a murder. Why are you giving a bigger punishment to a violator of Shabbat than to someone who just killed someone? Why all the restrictions that apply to a Mechalel Shabbat, almost none of them apply to a murderer? For instance, a murderer that is Shomer Shabbos is still a Jew. Mechalel Shabbat, that is the nicest person, definitely not a murderer, loses Jewish identity. What makes you Jewish? You were born to a Jewish mother and you are Shomer Shabbat. If you were born to a non-Jewish mother, nothing will help you. You're not Jewish. That's it. Even if you keep Shabbat, you're still not Jewish. But if you're born to a Jewish mother, it's not enough. You need one more condition to make you Jewish. What is it? You must be fully observant of the Sabbath. That's the ticket to allow you in. What is it like? You have 2 doors to enter to the bank to get your money from the safe. Outside and another door. If you only enter one, and you are now between the 2 doors, but you don't have the other key for the indoor, what is it going to help you? You're stuck between the 2 doors. You can still not enter and get access to your money. You need 2 conditions, like double password. You know how Google, they have 2 passwords? One is not enough. You have double identification over there. So the same thing over here. Just that your mother is Jewish, okay, you're born with a Jewish neshama, Jewish soul. But in order to activate it and to be a Jew, a Jewish status, and have a share to the world to come, and goes to where the righteous Jews go, you must be a Shomer Shabbat, observant of the Sabbath. And most Jews are not aware of it. They don't even know it. They know there is such a thing, Shabbat. They know that according to Judaism, you have to be Shomer Shabbat. They know many people that are Shomer Shabbat, brothers, friends, cousins, neighbors, But they don't know that to break Shabbat is actually worse crime in the eyes of God than someone who killed someone. They don't know that. Why they don't know it? Because between me and you, how many speakers you know? Can you name to me at least 500 speakers? If you go on Google, you have thousands of speakers. How many of them say what you just heard I just say? Tell me. Name to me. Besides Rabbi Reuven, and maybe another 2, 3 rabbis, if I bring you now 1,000 speakers, any one of them ever say it? Now what I say, it's true or false? True. If it's false, I don't deserve to speak. I'm making up my own religion. But that's the law in Shulchan Aruch. I'm sure that by now you know that I don't make up things, no? So if that's the law in a Jewish book of law, so who's right? Someone who quote the law or someone who ignore the law? Some people, they just don't want to say the law. Why? People get upset. Let's reach out to them in a different way without telling them what God thinks about them. After we'll be able to make them Baalei Tshuva, they'll go to yeshiva, they'll find out what does it mean to be Mechalel Shabbat. Let's not right away hit them with this shocking news. I can live with that. Okay. You want to do it the longer way? Fine, do it the longer way. But there are some who don't have any shame. Not only they don't present the law, when are asked about it, they completely lie. No, God forbid. It's not true. Who told you such a thing? God loves you as you are. If you only know how much He loves you, what do you mean? The Rambam say the opposite. Shulchan Aruch say the opposite. The Gemara say the opposite. And the 5 books of Moshe say the opposite. So where did you bring up your nonsense from? From his hunch. I don't know. It's called Svarat HaKeres. He likes to kiss up to that Mechalel Shabbat. Sometimes he may do it because he has good intention. But again, he's breaking the law now. Because you're not allowed to modify the truth of God just to find favors in the eyes of a wicked person in order for you to bring him to the Torah. So you bring the law of the Torah as low as possible for him to like it. You know, today it's very much in style everywhere, Israel, here, to do davening with guitar, drums, bringing all kinds of speakers. Just today in Washington, they had this Netz Minyan. It's not the first time. They bring singers, they play nice guitar, all these beautiful melodies. They sing the Hallel, more than half an hour, people dancing with the tefillin. Very inspiring. Why do you have to do it? Why do you have to do it? Do they do it in yeshivot? In serious yeshivot, they bring guitar and drums? No. But in places of modern people, it became a fashion now. Almost everywhere you see it. Why? Because the level of the people is so low. How will you attract them to come at 6 in the morning to pray in Rosh Chodesh for more than 2 hours? How you offer them a good breakfast with good coffee and lax and, I don't know, cakes and all kinds of good drinks and l'chaim and great music and lots of people. And you choose a place that has a wonderful view. The White House is a different story, but usually they do it by the lake, by, in the marina, in nature. Why? To attract people. Why you have to do all these gimmicks? Because the generation is in the lowest level you can imagine. So you have to find all kinds of tricks to attract them. Is that kosher or not? The answer is yes, as long as you don't break the laws. There is no law against it. I mean, yes, in a synagogue, some say you're not supposed to play music inside the shul. It's not a party place. But if you do it outside, okay. So the question is now, to come play guitar and violin and some drums in the middle of Hallel and sing to God how much we love him and praise him. Do we break any law? No. If it attracts another 50 people to come, and now maybe there is a chance they're going to start come every day to shul, right, after the inspiration they had in Rosh Chodesh, why not? If we will offer people ice cream, kids, teenagers, they don't want to come to shul. If you come, I'll buy you a whole box of great ice cream. Oh, yeah? I'm coming. Once, twice, 3 times you buy them ice cream, then you don't need to give them ice cream. That's it. They got used to come. Any gimmick that does not violate the rules of the Torah, it's blessed. Why? You have to match yourself to the low level of the people. But again, without changing the laws of the Torah, without modifying the laws of the Torah. Make no mistake. You're not allowed to allow something that is against halakha, even against rabbinical law. You're not allowed to say, okay, that's only rabbinical, let it go. No. Not allowed. Anyone who compromises on the truth of God, what the Torah and halakha requires, will not have blessing in his kiruv word. It may look that it works for a while, but that person will not have blessing in what he does. Why? Because Hashem say not to do it this way. My Torah is not, don't make a mockery out of my Torah. Right? One time I was in San Diego, this is the last thing, and then we move on to our topic tonight. When I was in San Diego, I don't know, 15 years ago, in a very big, nice, big place with a great yard, had a lot of people, 150 people maybe, sitting in the backyard. The weather there is great, you know how it is. And I spoke about the restriction of coming to the synagogue with the car on Shabbat. Not to come. Why? Because someone told me before the lecture, there are people here, they come to shul every Shabbat, but they drive with the car. So as I'm saying it, one guy got up. Back then he was probably 60 years old, 65 maybe. He had kids. And he said to me, I disagree. I disagree. What do you mean you disagree? You should come to shul with a car on Shabbat. What's the alternative? I live 40 minutes away from the minyan, from the shul. The only time my kids see a synagogue and hear the reading of the Torah and maybe a 10-minute speech from the rabbi is on Shabbat. And there's no way for me to walk to the synagogue. So what are you saying? I shouldn't drive my kids into the shul? That I won't have any connection to the synagogue? I'm sure that God is happy that we drive to the synagogue on Shabbat. I'm sure you heard it thousands of times, this claim, right? There is any logic in this claim or no? Let's be honest. There's any logic? A little logic. For an ignorant person, there is a lot of logic in it. Someone who never read the Torah and never read Halakha, it makes a lot of sense. What's the purpose of shul? The Jews gather together to praise God, pray, and make the requests, and to hear the reading of the Torah. So, we want to do something positive. We're not driving to the beach. We're driving to the house of God, to the shul. So, if we cannot come by feet, so we might as well drive. So that's his claim. So then I say to him, I want to ask you a question. When God gave the Torah, did he know the future? He said yes. This is not a heretic person. We're not dealing with someone that tried to make a mockery out of the Torah. It's someone who is looking for convenience. Allow me. I want to come to do something good. So I say, when God gave the Torah, did he know the future? He say yes. Did he know every Jew that will be born in the future? Yeah. Did he know all the shuls in the world and every generation, or what's going to happen and not going to happen? He say yes. I say, when God gave the Torah and the laws of the Sabbath, he gave us one exception to the rule. One. Life risk and nothing else. If a life of a person is in a risk, man, woman, child, anyone, you're allowed to temporarily violate the laws of Shabbat to save their life. Today, to drive them to the hospital, or to make a phone call to Atzala, 911, or anything, or to take your own car and drive him to the hospital, or to heat up water because he's freezing to death now. If you're not going to put some hot water with a sponge on him, in 5 minutes he'll be dead. Snow fell on him. By the time we move the snow, he's about to die. So we're allowed to heat up water, maybe if we can heat him up, or turn the oven on, or something to save his life. That's also a violation of Shabbat. So there are many ways to violate Shabbat, and all of them are permitted in order for us to save a person from death. Even if there is only 1% chance that he will die. 99% that nothing will happen to him. He has fever, 103. Most people that have 103, they don't die. Not even 1 out of 100 would die, or 1 out of 500. But there is a tiny chance that he may die. You're allowed to break Shabbat. Once the life risk is over, you are not allowed to continue violating Shabbat another second. You cannot do anything. Your car is on. You're not allowed to put it off. You're not allowed to close the door. Why? The light will go off. You shut the engine. It's not allowed on Shabbat. You already arrived to the hospital. You opened the door, you took your son out, and you ran into the emergency room. The doctors took him over with a bed. Now you want to go move your car. You're not allowed. Why? It's a $200,000 car. Someone will get in and steal it. There's no permission to break Shabbat to save money or to save a damage, financial damage, even if it's $1 trillion damage. You have a building that worth in Manhattan $1 billion. There are buildings like this in Manhattan. In good area, I don't know, 50 floors with thousands of apartments. It's over $1 billion, the building. And fire starts. Today we're allowed to put the fire off because there's life risk. People on the top floor, they may die. But let's assume that this building is vacant. The government, the city gave an order, you must vacate the place for a month until you fix something in a building. So there's nobody there. And now fire started on Shabbat. $1 billion will go down the drain. You're not allowed to put the fire off. You're allowed to call a goy to put it off, if there is a goy. But if there's no goy, you just lost $1 billion. No permission to violate Shabbat once to save $1 billion. Life risk? Yes. Some person stayed there in a penthouse, I don't know. By the time he's going to come down, the fire is going to choke him. He's not going to be able to come out. That gave you permission to violate Shabbat. So I said to that guy in San Diego, Hashem knew there will be Jews that live so far from the synagogue, and they won't be able to join together to pray. And the only time they'll be able to come to a synagogue is to break Shabbat. And he did not make a second exception to the rule. In order for people to gather together on Shabbat and pray in Minyan, I give permission to violate Shabbat, just like I gave permission to violate Shabbat for a life risk. Life risk, permitted. Praying together in a synagogue, permitted. There's no such thing. If it was more important than Shabbat, then Hashem will allow it. But you see that Hashem did not allow it, knowing there will be thousands of Jews in every generation who, because of that, will never see the synagogue. Never. Because not everyone lives next to the synagogue. And he sat down, and that was the end of the argument. Because he knew. So you see, it's logical before you use your head. Once you begin to use your head, it's a very easy legal case to prove that you are wrong. Why? Hashem knew the future, no question about it. He knew there will be people that cannot come to the synagogue, absolutely. And he didn't give permission to break Shabbat for it. That means pray at home. But it's boring to be alone, without all the chevre, without the chulent, without the kiddush, without the speech of the rabbi, without the reading of the Torah. You can't even answer Kaddish, Baruch Hu. You miss a lot when you pray home. It's not the same. It's nothing to compare. The answer is move next to the synagogue. You know, one of the conditions when Gentiles wants to convert, it's not enough that they learn the book Welcome to Judaism by heart. Even if they know the entire book by heart, which technically they are ready for conversion, the Beit Din will not convert them until they know for sure that they live close to an Orthodox synagogue. Anywhere. Kosher shul, not, God forbid, Reform or conservative. That's worse than churches. We're talking about a kosher shul. The rabbi knows you. Go introduce yourself, say that you are in a process of converting. And once they know that the person is starting to go to shul, to pray, then he gets tefillin, and he's starting to change his Goyish lifestyle to a Jewish lifestyle. Once they see that he's in already, they're willing to convert him. How will they convert him if he lives in Zimbabwe? Where exactly is going to pray? Where is he going to get kosher food? Who is going to be his rabbi when he has questions? Do you get the point or no? Person isolated without a community, it's impossible to stay religious. You need yeshiva. You need a place for your children to learn. You need a rabbi in a place. And you also need friends. Tomorrow you have a problem, who's going to run to help you? The community is all like a brotherhood. It's not only in Judaism. In every religion, even all those fake religions, they have communities. Why? Because it's simple common sense. You be alone on the moon. I want to be tzaddik on the moon. Not exactly possible. Tomorrow you'll have a child. Who's going to circumcise him? You're gonna get a spaceship to the Moel? I arrange for you a flight to the moon. The question is, do we have to keep mitzvot on the moon? If there was a possibility to live on the moon today, we have to keep the mitzvot on the moon or no? On the moon, you have gravity or no? You don't have gravity, you fly. If you fly, how exactly are you going to daven shliach tzibur? Stand, Hashem sfatai tiftach, your head is into the ceiling. Or the whole synagogue will fly in the air. Now you want to eat matzah. Your child is sitting on the table, you hold the matzah stays in the air. You hit the matzah, and your son is going to open his mouth and he's going to fly mamash into his mouth. There's only one problem. Guess what's going to happen when you have to go to the bathroom and sit down there? And, you know, the waist is refused to go down. It begins to fly in a room. It's a little bit hard to be religious in those places. Plus, we have to check about the dates, daylight, night. Even in Scandinavia, you can't be a Jew. In the North Pole, in Finland, in places like this. 6 months you have light, and then 6 months darkness. If you have a child, you're supposed to circumcise him in the light, not at night. But the night is 6 months. So imagine now, if you have to circumcise your son in the 8th day, meaning it has to be day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night, 8 times. How many years will it be? 4 years. By the time 8 days will pass, it's basically 4 years, like this calendar. Do you get the point or no? It will be a little bit difficult. When is going to be Sof Zman Kriyat Shema? When is going to be Chatzot? There's a lot of mitzvot you're not allowed to do. For instance, tefillin. You have to put in the daylight, not at night. But it's 6 month night. What are you going to do? Put tefillin in the middle of the night? Do you get the point or no? A Jew cannot live in those places. From here we see that when Hashem gave us the Torah is designed to begin with for Jews to live in certain places, not in every continent. Some places it's impossible to follow the rules. How are you going to know? Now Kriyat Shema ends at 8:30. 8:33 this morning it was, 8:34. What are you going to do in Scandinavia? Even in Europe, it's very hard to be a Jew. I was in Belgium, 11 o'clock, it was still night. Day. It's Motzi Shabbos, 11 o'clock at night, it's still light outside. Now imagine Friday night, you want to pray and do Kabbalat Shabbat, pray Arvit, go home and do a meal. By the time it gets dark, it's 11:30 at night. By the time you get home, by the time you do Kiddush, by the time you finish the meal, it's 2 a.m. 2 a.m. At your kids. It's problematic. But in the Middle East, it's perfect. In the Holy Land. Even here in America, we are lucky that the Goyim changed the clock. You know, there's a lot of arguments about changing the clock. If the Goyim will not change the clock, do you know when would be Sof Zman Kriyat Shema? 9:35. 9:35. You know when it will be sunrise? Almost 8 a.m. 8 a.m., meaning 7:45, it's still dark. So only you can start praying around 7:30, 7:40, until you get to the Tfilat Shmona Esrei, it becomes sunrise, 8 a.m. By the time you finish the davening, until you get to work, will be almost 10. Now, Baruch Hashem, they bring the time back. That extra hour allow you to be at your office at 9 a.m. Otherwise, it will be a disaster. Same thing in Israel. Also, they're fighting not to change the time. But Baruch Hashem, in Israel, the religious people sit in the government. So they make conditions. You want to be with us in the government? These are one of the conditions that we need you to follow. And Baruch Hashem. But let's move on. Yesterday, the last thing I spoke about, speaking about the parasha we read on Shabbat, Parashat Chayev Sarah, that Sarah passed, Avraham made a eulogy for her, and Avraham refused to cry for her until after he buried her. Usually the way it goes, when someone dies, you first cry, immediately because it's an instant reaction, right? If you just found out your best friend or relative or husband, wife, spouse, child, chas v'shalom, someone died, you can control. You begin to cry, to scream, you faint. All this reaction, it's normal. So Avraham is coming back from the Akedah. He was ready to sacrifice his only son to Hashem. Hashem said, no, don't do it. Avraham said, I came all the way here. Let me at least make one line of blood, that at least some of the mitzvah I care. Hashem said, don't do it. Now I know you're a God-fearing person. 10 times you tested me. But now you got the stamp. You officially welcome to the VIP of the holiest people in the history of the world. Together with Isaac, Jacob, King David, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and a few other hundreds. It's a special club. Amram, Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron. People that became legend. That's it. The whole world knows about them. Their Torah will remain forever. So, Rabotai, Avraham arrives to his house, and what does he find out? That while he was willing to sacrifice the most precious thing in his life, with no question asked, and no thoughts even against Hashem, his wife just died. So, okay, what's the problem of crying? It's a normal reaction. Hashem doesn't get angry at someone that cried that his wife just died, right? It's no restriction not to cry. The opposite. Hashem understands that now it's the time to cry. It's even written in the Torah that the whole nation of Israel cried for Aaron for 30 days. There are proofs in the Tanakh that it's mitzvah to cry when someone dies, especially a big tzaddik. So why Avraham refused to cry? Because if he would cry, all the people that look up to him as the messenger of God in a generation, like Ephron say to him, you are the president of God among us. Nasi Elohim ata betochenu. We look at you as a messenger of God, the Goyim. Everyone looks at Abraham like that's the representative of God. If he will cry now, it would look like he's regretting the mitzvah of the Akedah. I mean, it looks like I should have not taken Yitzchak, because of that I lost my wife. So in order for him not to do Chilul Hashem, that the Goyim will see weakness in him, which they can translate as he's regretting now what he just did in the Moriah mountain, he did not have one drop of tear until after he buried Sarah. That's when he made the eulogy. But usually the way is first you cry and then later you do the eulogy after you buried. So that's where I ended up yesterday. Now I want to continue the best stuff I left for today. We're going to learn a lesson for life about dating. Finding your soulmate. For you, for your children, for your friends. So, everyone is busy now trying to do matchmaking. That's the crisis of the generation. Everybody understands. The whole world is in crisis. Jews, non-Jews. More and more older people cannot get married. Millions, many millions of people, quality people, nice-looking people, smart people, religious people, wealthy people, or someone that has everything, the whole package, or she, or he. It looks like some kind of a curse. A large portion of the communities cannot marry their children. I had a few lectures about the Shidduch crisis. That's not the topic here today. Today I want to focus more on what's happening with Avraham sending his servant Eliezer, one of the most righteous Gentiles in the history of the world. I want to remind you, there are 10 people who went to heaven with their bodies. They were not buried. There's a list of them. One of them is Eliezer, in case you were wondering how righteous he is or not. He comes from a cursed nation named nation of Canaan. Noah cursed his grandson Canaan, the son of Ham. So the nation is cursed forever. They cannot remove the curse of Noah. But it doesn't mean that a cursed goy cannot be righteous. As long as he has a curse on him because he comes from that race that is cursed. But being righteous is a matter of will. You want to be righteous or not? You're working hard to be righteous or not? No one is forcing you to be wicked or to be righteous. It's 100% in your hand, like the Rambam writes in Ilchot Shuvah. Now let's see what Avraham said to his servant. Go and find a wife to my son Yitzchak. But how are you going to find a wife? I want to warn you in advance. Let's see. Vayomer elav, Avraham said to Eliezer, I want you to go and find a wife to my son. Put your hands under my thigh and swear in the name of God, the God of heaven and earth, that you will not take a wife to my son from the nation of Canaan, meaning your nation. Eliezer is Canaani. He's from Canaan. He said to him, make sure you do not bring my son any girl from your nation. Do not bring. Even though we sit and live among them, I want you to go to my original place of birth, and you bring a wife to my son Yitzchak from there. So, Rabotai, why Avraham is sending Eliezer so far to find a wife? What's the problem? What, in the whole land of Canaan you cannot find one good girl? Not that in another place there is any righteous girls. Ze nevela, ze trefa. In the end, who did he get? Rivka comes from the worst house. Her father is a murderer, Betuel, and her brother is the biggest crook on earth, ever. He took advantage on Yaakov for 20 years. Idol worshipper, crook. So what kind of a bargain he found? Rivka herself is extremely holy and righteous. But what house she grew up in? The worst house. Same thing Avraham. What house did he grow in? His father was an idol worshipper, selling idols to the public. Avraham didn't born in Bnei Brak, or in Mea Sha'arim, or in Lakewood. Where did he grow up? Avraham. In a house of Bernie Sanders. Father, Baruch Hashem, Terach at least made tshuva in the end of his life. For the honor of Avraham, such a legendary holy tzaddik, and his father will go to hell. I don't want to upset my son Abraham. I have to help to make sure his father will repent. So his father repented. And what was his end? He died. And what happened to his father, Terach? He had to come back again in reincarnation to pay for all his idol worshipping sins. Even though he repented. He left it. He dumped the idols. He asked for forgiveness. What we call tshuva. It wasn't enough. מחטיא רבים אין מספיקים בידו לעשות תשובה. If you influence the public to do wicked things, to become wicked, to act wicked, to behave wicked, as much as you repent, it's very hard to overcome the negative you left in the world. Because how many good things you can do as an individual? You do one good thing and at the same time all your students continue with their idol worshippings. You're going in reverse. Hashem sent him back in reincarnation. Who was he in his next life? Eov. Job. The book of Job. That's Terach. How much he suffered. All his children died. All his money went. Sicknesses. All his friends turned their back on him. Terrible. All of that for the past life. And he was very righteous in the next life, Eov. Messenger of God. He wasn't a Jew, by the way. Terach died as a goy, and Eov also was born as a goy. Avraham became an Hebrew, meaning he came out of his goyish lifestyle and became the first Hebrew. And after that, later on, Judaism started in Mount Sinai. So let's see, Rabotai. He's warning him, do not get a woman from the land of Canaan. Go to the place of my birth, and from there find a girl with kindness, with good traits, good personality. These Canaanim do not have good traits. Their mentality is not good. Make sure don't find a girl over there. Top. Then we continue. Why does he have to say this language? It says, ולקחת אישה לבני ליצחק. לבני ליצחק. It's like two individuals here. And you took a wife to my son, to Yitzchak. No, you should have said, and you should get a wife to my son Yitzchak. That's the proper language. You don't have to say two twice. To my son, to Yitzchak. It's like two sons. Do you get the point or no? This is a divine language here. There's no place for errors. Why did Hashem use this language, meaning Avraham used this language? Find a wife to my son, so there's 1, 2, to Yitzchak. Find a wife to my son Yitzchak, or to my son, that's it. We know who we're talking about. I have only one son. The answer is, it's not enough you find a wife to my son. That's the general order, the mission, to find shidduch to my son. No. But there is another mission. The wife that you're going to find have to be exactly the right wife for my son Yitzchak. Yitzchak is not like me. I am the symbol of chesed. Avraham is the symbol of kindness. Yaakov is the symbol of emet, Torah. איש תם יושב אוהלים. Yitzchak is judgment, strict judgment. That's the truth and that's it. No mercy. Strict judgment. To live with a person that is only strict judgment, midat adin, it's not easy. You need a wife to balance his judgment traits. It's very judgmental. To be judgmental is a positive thing or a negative thing? The answer, it's a very positive thing. You must be judgmental. If someone is risky and look fishy, you have to be extra careful. If you have a gun, get ready. He may turn around and attack you any minute. Why? Because this kind of person usually attacks. The way he dressed, the way he looks. Or the area where I am. It's a dangerous place. Record shows a lot of people got mugged there. Especially middle of the night. Why are you so judgmental? Because you have to be judgmental. Otherwise you'll be dead. Don't be a fool. If someone bang on your door at 3 a.m., you have to assume it's some Nazi anti-Semite who came to kill you. Try to break the wall. Don't be judgmental. Maybe the poor person is about to die from hunger. Maybe. But there's a much higher chance someone came to kill me. Or there could be a tragedy also. Someone needs a ride to the hospital. I don't know. Something happened by the neighbor. It could be many things. I have to go down with my gun. Why you brought the gun? I'm your neighbor. Why? Because I have to be alert. Bottom line, you must be judgmental, but you cannot be only judgmental. Only judgment is not good. Only mercy is not good. There has to be a balance. You have to know when to be in judgment and when to be in mercy. Only mercy, it's a disaster. Only judgment, it's a disaster. A combination is wonderful. Avraham knows that Yitzchak is midat adin, is strict. He must have a wife that will balance him, will ease him. Don't rush. Breathe. Calm down, my dear husband. Yes, you're 100% right. That's the law. That's what needs to be done. But let's mix a little bit mercy. You know? Find a wife to my son, that's the general rule. But now I'm giving you a more specific rule. Which wife? A wife that will match someone that is midat adin. Okay? Tov? We learn one more thing now. Then Eliezer answers something very clever. What does he say? Vayomer elav ha'eved. And the servant say back to him, Ulai lo toveh ha'isha lalechet acharai. Maybe the girl will not agree to follow me, to leave her place and to come all the way to here. El haaretz hazot. She won't agree to come. Ha'ashev hashiv et bincha el haaretz asher yatzata misham. Let's see what Rashi says. Hadaud ichtiv, it's written in the prophet Hosea, chapter 12. Knan beyado moznei mirma la'ashok zahav. Knan has scales in his hand to cheat and steal gold. When you weigh the gold in 47th Street, you have to make sure you go to a righteous, kosher person, that he doesn't trick you with the weight. 1 ounce he put. You put all your gold over there. Okay, you 1 ounce, 1.1 ounce. Pays you for the gold. If it's a crook, it says on it 1 ounce, but it's 3/4 of an ounce. See? It says 1 ounce. This is 2 ounces weight. This is 1 pound. This is 100 gram, you know. People used to cheat. They have one over here, which is a kosher weight, and one in a pocket. The Torah says if you have it in your pocket, it's already a sin from the Torah. No less than eating pork. But I never used it. The fact that you already put a fake weight inside your pocket, meaning ready to cheat a customer when he doesn't look, to switch. When he turns around or when he looks, you know, someone just spoke to him, you switch quickly. Even though you never dare to use that, every second it was in your pocket is a sin from the Torah. We're going to get into it soon. So, Rabotai, Knan ze Eliezer. The Midrash Rabbah says, Knan, it's this servant Eliezer. He came from Knan. שהיה יושב ומשקיל את ביתו ראויה היא או אינה ראויה. Eliezer is debating. Should I offer Abraham to take my wife as a shidduch to his son Yitzchak or no? I have a great wife. She's righteous. Not wife, daughter, sorry. Eliezer has a daughter. Eliezer has a righteous daughter. What can be better? I gave you my life, Abraham. I take care of all your businesses, all the arrangements, all the money. You took me together to fight and release Lot from Sodom and from Nimrod. I'm willing to risk my life for you. You count on me with your eyes closed. And now you even count on me to go find your son Shidduch, meaning there's no observations here. How about we become family? We are like brothers. Let's do shidduch to your son, to my daughter. What's wrong with my daughter? She's a great girl. She finished Bet Yaakov for Goyot. There was no Jews yet. So there was Bet Yaakov for the Goyim, for the righteous Gentiles. So Eliezer is debating, should I offer or not? Why is debating? Because Abraham doesn't know he has a daughter. Why Abraham didn't suggest that? Eliezer would be dancing to marry his daughter to Yitzchak. It's better than winning the lottery. But since Abraham doesn't suggest it, should I even offer it or no? It's good. It's a valid point or no? Let's see. If it's a valid point, tell me why the Midrash call him a crook. A crook that deceives with the scales. Remember, we are talking now about one of the most righteous Gentiles in the history of the world. Most of the Jews you know today don't reach 5% of his level. They don't go to heaven with their body, to the best of my knowledge. So he's definitely a righteous person, Eliezer, with a stamp from Hashem. So why the Midrash said that now when he's thinking about should I offer my daughter to Yitzchak, it's considered an act of deceiving, like deceiving with a scale. Why is it? Soon you're getting the point. Now we're going to something very deep and very crucial to understand for every minute of our life. I'm going to teach you now one of the most important foundations in life. As I always tell you, every sentence in the Torah, it's a school for life. People read the Torah like they read newspaper or some romance. It's nothing to do with that. It's 100% book of instructions. Right now we're learning Jewish hashkafa, a divine ideology. What's right and what's wrong. What to do, what not to do. How to behave in certain scenarios. We're going to understand that in a minute. So, Rabotai, Eliezer is debating, my daughter is worthy or not? He's about to kidnap, meaning to deceive, to steal gold. What gold? Yitzchak is the gold. He's thinking, should I steal Yitzchak for my daughter or not? Tov. So he said to Avraham, maybe the girl that you're sending me now to your family over there, maybe she won't agree to come. What would we do then? Meaning he's trying to push his daughter into the picture. Okay. Meaning Eliezer understands that the first priority for Avraham is not to marry his daughter. Otherwise, he wouldn't send him. The fact that he said, go over there and find me a girl from there, knowing that he has a daughter across the street, and he doesn't suggest that shidduch, you don't have to be a genius to understand that it's not his top priority. So what do? You say, but what happened if I won't be able to find? Meaning I found, but she doesn't want to come. She doesn't want to move from LA to New York, Rabbi. It's too cold over there. We, the Persian of LA, we love LA. I don't want to move to Great Neck. Tov, maybe we'll move to LA. No, Moshe, you move to LA? No, Rabbi, our business is here in Manhattan. What will I do in LA? Weather is nice. Weather doesn't put food on the table. Tov, no shidduch. Two lovely Persian boys and girls. Why they don't get married? Los Angeles and New York. That's the common problem. So Eliezer has a good point, no? She doesn't want to come, maybe. She won't agree to move, to relocate. You know, in the shidduch profile, they write, willing to relocate. Well, I already know this question would rise. Tov. Rabotai, it's sweeter than honey. Listen to this. And Avraham, he said, what happened if she won't agree to come? Avraham already read his mind. And he said to him, I'm very sorry, my dear servant Eliezer. There is a rule by God. Someone that is blessed spiritually is not allowed to get married to someone that is cursed spiritually. Blessed and cursed cannot merge together. Who is cursed? The nation of Canaan. Who cursed them? Their grandfather, Noach. Why Noach cursed Canaan? Noach had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Yefet. Ham had 4 sons, Mitzrayim, Egypt, Put, Cush, and Canaan. Canaan was the youngest one, 4th one. He is the one who saw his grandfather naked, drunk, after he drank wine, laying in a bed, called his father Ham. They castrated Noach, made him unable to have more kids. And then when Noach woke up and saw what happened to him in his body, he cursed Canaan. What Canaan? Cursed Ham. Ham is the one who did it. But Canaan was the one who went and called him. So because you made me unable to have a 4th child, I'm going to curse your 4th child that is already alive. He is alive. I cannot kill him. But I'll put a curse on him. What's the curse? he will always be a servant. No matter where, they're always going to be slaves. Today, by the way, you still have slavery in the world. It's not like it used to be before Abraham Lincoln, right? People used to have no rights. Today, there's modern-day slavery. They get $4 a day and work 16 hours a day. I don't know, in India, Thailand, Tibet, China, all day. Or diamond, blood diamond, all day they look. There are rules, you know. You have to know that the diamonds are kosher. Why? If they took advantage on African kids and tortured them for $1 a day or $1 a week, I don't know exactly how much they pay them, in order for rich diamond dealers here in America to make millions of those diamonds, these diamonds are called blood diamonds. Meaning like diamonds that came in a war crime, something like that. So Rabotai, he said to him, I'm very sorry, I will take your daughter, but God blessed me, I'm blessed, and you are cursed. My son is blessed, your daughter is cursed. Not personally. In general, you cannot mix between a blessed nation and a cursed nation. End of story. Top? No, בסדר. Let's move on. Now, Rabotai, Chazal are talking negative about Eliezer, knowing that he went to heaven with his body without burial. Make no mistake. They know the level of Eliezer. But that's what's beautiful about our religion. There are criticism against everyone, no matter how holy they are, no matter how righteous and divine they are. When they did one thing, tiny thing, that it's incorrect, boom, right away attack. King David attacks. King Solomon attacks. Moshe Rabbeinu attacks. Abraham attacks. Yaakov attack. Noach attack. Why? The Torah said they're righteous, all these people. But they did 1 or 2 or 3 things that are incorrect in their entire life. Let go. Shove it under the rug. Will you ever see one negative word against Muhammad ever in the last 1400 years in Islam? No. Find a book that said that Muhammad was a pedophile. They'll burn you and your book. Say that he was a murderer. He murdered people who didn't want to accept him. You already have a problem. One word you say against Muhammad and your life is in a risk forever. Like Salman Rushdie, you heard about him? He wrote a book against Islam. 25 years, I think, he was hiding until a few months ago, somebody spilled acid on his face, made him deaf or blind or something like that. They didn't forget him after 25 years. He was living in Gaza in an underground tunnel. He came out of the tunnel after 25 years. Tunnel in New York, probably. I don't know where his tunnel was, bunker. And immediately they got him. The one time he came out, boom, in public. Meaning they did not forget 25 years. Right? You insulted the prophet. If someone would write criticism against Muhammad in the Quran, at least we would know that there is a chance the book is divine. The fact that the entire book is perfect and it never did anything wrong and there's not one negative word about him, you know it's the book is fake. Same thing about JC. Any criticism against JC, the Messiah, the Son of God, the Holy JC? Never. Why? Because the whole book is fake. Goes to the Torah. Adam, criticism. Everyone, criticism. Noach, you should have saved your generation. You were not righteous in other generations. Why? Why do you go out of your way to make Noach look questionable? Why you talk against Esav? It's the son of Yitzchak. Come on, he comes from the royal family. Don't talk about him. Why do you have to say that he's hunter and that he's Hashem Yerachem Rasha? He wants to murder his son. Shove it under the rug. Who needs to know that? The answer is when it's a divine book, it must be 100% authentic, based on what really happened. And that's what we are doing now. Chazal, our sages, knowing Eliezer is one of the greatest people in the world, are now criticizing him for what purpose? To make him look bad? Absolutely not. To teach everyone after that even the greatest people in the history have weaknesses, and you should learn from their experience. And that's a very strong point. Chazal, they say Eliezer was not objective. Every person that have a personal interest, it clogged his judgment. Personal interest, clog your judgment. It's direct danger to fair judgment. Not that you're lying. You cannot see the situation objectively. You get a phone call from the yeshiva. Your son has had a fight with another kid. We need you to come. You don't even know the details. It cannot be. It's probably the other kid attacked my son. I know him. If they would tell you, Rabbi, Reuven had a fight with Shimon. They're not your kids. In yeshiva. Okay, tell me the details. I tell you who is guilty. Now you can see it objectively. You don't take one side because it's nothing to do with you. It's no personal interest. Here first you think, wow, they're going to throw my son out of yeshiva. What will I do? Fear of such a situation immediately make you go against the truth. But you're not a liar. You're a holy man. Rabbi, come on, how do you behave like that? It happened to Eliezer. It can happen to the rabbi as well. So now listen what the Gemara said. The Chachamim said, Eliezer had negiyut. Negiyut meaning personal interest. That's why the Midrash Rabbi is telling us that Eliezer deceived with the scale. On a scale, one side he was, should I offer my daughter to Yitzchak? The other side of the scale, should I not offer? It's not sure. What's the question? Avraham told you go over there, and why? What are you saying? Maybe the girl will not come with me. It's a wishful thinking. He's hoping that he won't be able to find. But the claim that he made, it's true or not? Absolutely. So where is the lie? Now we learn a very important foundation for life. You can say the truth 100% while you're connected to a lie detector, and you are a full crook in the eyes of Hashem. A full crook. 100% a crook. Why? What I said, it's 100% a possibility. It's a legitimate possibility. Absolutely. What you say, it's not the problem. Is why you say it. Why you say the truth now. Meaning it's not enough just to speak true or false. We have to know why you say what you say. Meaning if you are a politician or not. When a European politician come to Israel and then go to Gaza, they do it. When it comes to Israel, it's unbearable how much you're suffering from these terrorists, Palestinian, Hamas. Shame on them, shooting rockets on innocent civilians. This has to stop. Did he say the truth? 100%. Then he crosses the border, goes to Gaza. What does he say? The Israelis, shame on them. How long it's going to go on like this? Assuming he describes on both sides things that really happen. How do we know if he's righteous or wicked? The answer is, why does he say what he says? Why does he go to the Hamas and tell them it's unbearable what the Israelis do? Why? What for? What is the point? He wants to get another 10 million Arabs to vote for him in the election. That's why all these fake Hollywood stars, most of them wants to choose the Arab side. Why? How many Jewish followers we gonna have? 10, 15 million in the whole world, there's 15 million Jews. But if we're gonna take Palestinian side, right there we have over 1.5 billion fans. Fans is money. Is billion people on Twitter, I don't know, those social media. How many Jews can go on my Facebook page? Maximum 15 million. That's it. How many Arabs will go? Arabs, Afghani, Iranian, Palestinian, Kuwaiti, Bahrain, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Bangladesh, Yemen, Libya, Egypt. Look how many countries. I'll be the hero of 1.5 billion Arabs. But they have a Nazi ideology. You're supporting Nazis just because you want them as a fan. Why do I care? I know they're Nazis. I know they want to slaughter all Jews. Every fool knows it. You have one guy in the world that doesn't know Arabs wants to slaughter all Jews. Everyone knows it. And the same people scream, you have to eliminate ISIS, wipe them out. So why? Because who were wiping ISIS? American together with the Arabs. Even Arabs wanted to get rid of ISIS. So to get rid of ISIS, everyone agree. To get rid of Al-Qaeda, everyone agree. To get rid of the Hamas, we cannot agree. Why? That's going to cause us a problem, because the other side are Jews. So Jews, first of all, most of us are anti-Semite. We hate the Jews just as much. And even if we don't hate the Jews, we have sympathy to them, but it's not good for business. It's not good for business. Why? Because who is gonna buy our product? I sell a soccer shoe. 500 million Arabs will buy it. How many Israelis and American Jews will buy that soccer thing? How many? 200,000? 300,000? It all comes down to politics and business. Therefore, it doesn't really matter if your claim is correct or incorrect. What really counts in the eyes of God is, why do you say it? For personal interest or for real objective search for the truth? In the end, on both cases, you say the truth. I give you an example. One of the most famous speakers today in the Jewish world, we were together in yeshiva in Monsey 25, 27 years ago. We were both learning, students. After being more than 2 years together, or 2.5 years together, we were learning every day there, he decided to make aliyah to Israel. Why? Because that rabbi was born religious. He was religious until age 17, something like that. He went off the derech, not fully. Stayed a little bit traditional, but he wasn't like a Bachur Yeshiva anymore. He met his girlfriend at that time, which today is his wife. And they got married. I'm trying to remember. No, he got married after. No, first he was in yeshiva, and then he got married. Okay, he came to Monsey to the yeshiva. After being in yeshiva for a while, the rabbi over there saw right away that he knows Gemara from the days he was in yeshiva. He was in yeshiva from age 4. From age 4 until age 16, you learn a lot of Gemara, you know halachot. He was a student. Unlike others who came with no knowledge and starting at age 20. So when he came to the yeshiva, I believe it was 21, 22, 23, something like that. We were at that age, around that age. He already had a lot of knowledge from his days as a child. So immediately he was able to teach the beginners, because he already know how to learn Gemara. So the rabbi over there found a free tutor. He doesn't have to pay him a salary, because in one hand he's one of the students in yeshiva. He lives there, he eats there, he learns there. And while he's there, he teaches the new people who comes. What can be better for him? It saves him around $1,500 at that time. It was like a few $1,000s today. So one time, that student decided to make aliyah. Why? Because the level of the yeshiva he wanted to go to in Israel was much higher level. Because he already wanted to go in to be a dayan or to be somebody more serious in a Torah world. So he came to him, to the manager there, the Rosh Yeshiva. He wasn't Rosh Yeshiva there. He'd consider, but he was almost never there. But he ran the yeshiva there. So he said to him, I decided to make aliyah. And he started to attack him. Who told you that? What makes you think you're now ready to make aliyah to Israel? Do you know what a strong Yetzer Hara you have in Israel? What makes you think you're going to stay religious there? There's a lot of challenges. What's wrong for you here? You have a holy place, everyone religious, no temptation, no issues with family and friends that are not so observant. Technically, everything he told him was true. There's more challenges in Tel Aviv, or when he lived in south of Tel Aviv, Drom Tel Aviv. It's not exactly Monsey when it comes to a holy environment. Will you have more challenges in Israel? True. Everything he told him was true. He didn't come and say to him, oh, this and that, made up some stories. But the only reason he gave him that speech wasn't because he was worried about his soul. Not at all. He was worried about his pocket. If you leave, I'm going to have to hire a new rabbi and pay him a salary. It will cost me a lot more. Right now, I have you for free. Baruch Hashem, I heard about it. And immediately I took him to the side. I said, don't listen to him. Go. Go right away. Don't waste your time here. Baruch Hashem, he went and became somebody important. So this is a perfect example. If now you would take that person and connect him to a lie detector and say to him, did you lie to that rabbi? He wasn't a rabbi back then. When you told him all the things you told him, did you actually lie? Absolutely not. You told him there are challenges in Israel. 100% there are. You told him it's not such a holy environment where his family live compared to Monsey. Absolutely right. You told him a lot of things. Everything I told him is the truth. I didn't make up stories. Of course. So technically, you're a liar or not? We have to judge you now in court. You liar or not? Technically not. The answer, absolutely. A crook. You are a crook. Why? Because Hashem knows what's the reasons you're trying to prevent him from leaving. And none of the things you say, that's the real reason. None of the things you say, it's the real reason. So, technically, Rabotai, almost all of us are like this. You have to reach a very high level, because if Eliezer was like this, who are we not to be like this? It's called in Hebrew, interessantim. Interessant, it comes from an English word, interest. Personal interest. All of us has our agenda. In English, there's a word for it. What's in it for me? Everything in the end, he tried to turn it around to benefit him. Do you understand or no? The Gemara says, Kohen Gadol is not allowed to marry a widow. Regular Kohen can marry a widow. He cannot marry a divorcee. No Kohen can marry a divorced woman. But a regular Kohen can marry a widow. The husband died. He's allowed to marry a Kohen. But Kohen Gadol, the one who became the main Kohen, who goes into Kodesh HaKodashim, in Yom Kippur, in Beit HaMikdash, is not allowed to marry a widow. What's wrong with marry a widow? The answer is nothing. Nothing is wrong with that. So why the Kohen Gadol is not allowed and other Kohanim are allowed? Yesterday wasn't Kohen Gadol. He was allowed to marry a widow. Now he became Kohen Gadol, break the shidduch. You cannot get married. The answer is, Rabotai, you're going to be falling from your chairs now. You're talking about the holiest person in the world that goes into the holy of holy to speak to Hashem because maybe he liked that married woman. She's so beautiful, she's so smart, charming, but she belongs to another man. He may go into Kodesh HaKodashim and ask Hashem to kill her husband, that she become free for him. And the power of the prayers inside Kodesh HaKodashim, it's a killer. It's a killer. It's so powerful that chas v'shalom, maybe her husband will really die from his prayers. Because that he has a personal agenda, personal interest to get this woman, and right now he can't, or he may pray. He may not pray directly that Hashem will kill her husband. No one will do such thing. But what will he do? Hashem, please, I'm begging you, I want to marry this woman. How can you marry her? She's married to someone else. You will arrange it. I'm not telling you what to do. But I'm counting on you to know. You always know how to arrange things. Do you understand what's happening here? We are talking about the holiest person in the world, that the entire nation is depending on his mouth. And he may like a married woman, and because of that, his personal interest can twist his mind to do a horrible thing. Can you believe it? Also the Kohanim, they cannot sit in a bed din to make a leap year. You know, every 2 to 3 years, you have to push another month into the calendar, like this year. Adar Aleph, Adar Bet. When Passover fall too short, around March, it's too cold in Israel. It's not spring yet. Every 2 to 3 years it happens. You pushed another month, Adar Bet. You postpone Pesach to around April, when it's already blooming and warm and nice. But Kohen should not be in a bed din to decide if this year we push a month or not. It's questionable. We can wait for next year. But his interest is to push another month into the calendar. Why? Because when he goes into the mikveh, it's freezing around March. He wants to push it a month later, that the holiday will be warmer. He doesn't have to freeze, or they walk with barefoot on the floor. The floor is freezing. Stone. So because he's trying to arrange himself a warm climate, environment, is not reliable. His subconscious will twist his ruling. So after I gave you an example from the holy Eliezer, and from the holy Kohen Gadol, and from Kohanim that serves in the house of God, you understand that we cannot be the dirt of the toes of their feet when we compare ourselves to them. So if by them it's possible, by us, it's needless to say, a million times needless to say, that not only it's possible, it happens by us all the time. By them it's possible. It may happen once or twice in a lifetime. It may. It may not. By us it happens every minute. Every minute. That's why when I speak in my lectures against smoking cigarettes, I say it's all from the Torah. The Torah says you have to watch your health. You're not allowed to damage your health in any possible way. Something that damages the lung, the heart. Cigarettes brings tons of diseases and problems. It's already been proven. There's no more arguments about it. Who always argue with me? Only the heavy smokers. Never in history a non-smoker tried to make an argument with me. Those who don't smoke, we support you, Rabbi. Go! You're too lenient. Go harder on them. Give them a smack, wake them up. All of us suffering from them. They make smoke everywhere. We can't breathe. And who argue? The smoker. Oh, you're too extreme. Fanatic. They told me about you. You're too extreme. Don't bring him next time. I one time went to LA to a Shabbaton with hundreds of people, very big synagogue. The person who arranged the Shabbaton, he told me there will be 1 billionaire in a crowd. He pays for everything here. This shul have donation, don't have donation, doesn't matter. Whatever they need, he covers. He has 150 stores. I'm not going to say what kind of stores, because then you will know who I'm talking about. It's a famous company. So he told me he's going to be sitting right in front of you, first row. This is your chance. If he would like you, he's a very generous person. He make millions of dollars every month. What is he going to do with all this money? He shares. Some people collect the millions hoping to take it to the next world to use it. Maybe in heaven they buy ice cream. You know, a nice Rolex maybe they buy in heaven. Maybe. They may need it. But he told me that's your chance. Make sure he likes you. I will make you sit with him after the lecture. Everything you want, he will give you. I asked him, is he religious? He told me traditional. Meaning not Shomer Shabbat. Comes with a car. But no one dared to talk to His Majesty. Who is going to dare to get the lion angry? He pays all the bills. So now I'm sitting to myself thinking, what should I do? Should I kiss up to him? And maybe he's going to start giving tons of money and we'll save thousands of souls? Or should I tell him the truth in the face because no one else will? That's now or never. I gave such a strong lecture about Mechalelei Shabbat, the worst you ever heard. I saw while he's sitting there, if he could slaughter me, he would. He's dying. But he's not dying because he just found out what's waiting for him in the next world. No, that wasn't his concern. He was dying from the audacity that I had to insult him in public. Meaning everyone there knows he drives on Shabbat. That means he was sitting over there thinking, what's my community now is thinking about me? Until now I was the king here. This guy came and made me nothing. Spoke about me like I'm some kind of a non-Jew. Not Shomer Shabbat, have no share to the world to come. Cannot be a part of a minyan. You're not allowed to give him aliyah. It's my opinion. It's what's written in Shulchan Aruch. I just read it. So the guy that organized the Shabbaton came to me after the lecture. He said to me, Rabbi, everyone here was extremely inspired, except one. The one that I told you, make sure you find favor in his eyes. First thing he said to me, don't dare to ever bring him over here. Of course, I never went there again. That's not an easy test. What's the big deal? You kiss up to someone for an hour and a half, and he becomes your friend, and you start giving money, and we do kiruv, and slowly, I make him religious. 2, 3, 4 weeks later. Allowed or not allowed? Or right now you must say the truth. Who's to say, first of all, you will agree to give? Not everyone has the merit to give to kiruv. If you see that you are able to give money to kiruv and it doesn't kill you, that's a sign that Hashem loves you. Because most people, they'll give to everything except kiruv. Why? Because Hashem doesn't want to give them 1,000,000 times more reward. Because every other mitzvah that you support is a one-time mitzvah. Even supporting people that sit and learn Torah, you give them the money for 1 month, they learn 1 month, you have a share in 1 month. Next month you have to give them again money. What you gave last month doesn't apply to the following month. Following month, you have to give them another monthly salary. They have to see, they have to feed their kids. So as long as you pay, you get. But kiruv, it's not like that. All you have to do is to put money, and with this money you create Baalei Tshuva. And they continue to produce mitzvot for you forever. Their children, grandchildren. You don't have to continue to give these people more money. All you have to do is to give them USB, a book, this, that, and you get them into the app, and they're following every day. And then a month later, they're already shomer mitzvot. They come to yeshiva, they learn, they come to shul in the morning. They order new tefillin, which reminds me, I bought 3 handmade, 100% best tefillin on earth. They won't survive in my house another week or two. Those who need tefillin, take advantage on it. You can't find tefillin like this because it's no machines, 100% handmade, no glue, best sofer, unbelievable writing. And about a third of the price of the real value. Why? Because you bring it directly from the people that mix it with their hands. Go to a store has to pay rent, workers, insurance, advertisement, tons of expenses, accounting, this. The store has to triple the price if they want to be in business. They have no choice. With all the expenses to be in business, taxes, this. So they have no choice. But when you bring it directly from the people, that's it. It's no 5 middlemen, this one and that one, and the owner and the employees. So anyway, Rabotai, the kiruv is a one-time investment for that individual, and he may produce for you 50 years of millions of mitzvot every month. All you need is that he'll go to yeshiva. And guess what? Every day, 600,000 mitzvot goes to your account thanks to him. While you sit, listening to your beautiful music, eating your bagel in the morning, before you finish the bagel, you already made 20,000 mitzvot. Think about it. You're sitting now home eating a bagel with cream cheese. By the time you started to eat bagel until you do Birkat Hamazon, 20,000 mitzvot you just made from one individual. One Baal Tshuva. Why? How long did it take you to eat the bagel? 20 minutes? 60,000 mitzvot an hour. 20 minutes is a third of an hour. 20,000 mitzvot. He's in yeshiva. You sit in your house eating the bagel, fressing. Before you finish the bagel, you already made 20,000 times putting tefillin on. 20,000 times in 20 minutes. It's like put tefillin. It's mitzvah from the Torah. Again and again and again and again and again. Each time is a huge reward. Every letter of Torah, it's the most precious mitzvot in the eyes of Hashem. That's why very, very few people can actually give to kiruv. Very few. My statistic, 5 out of 1,000. 5 out of 1,000. What's the proof? We have 42,000 people on the YouTube page. 42,000 people. Every lecture goes 30, 40,000 views, minimum. And later on, it goes over 100,000 views. 40,000 people are watching, or 30,000, let's be safe, 30,000. How much they donate? 2 people, 3 people. Go on YouTube and see. How many donations? 30,000 views, 2 donations, $1.99, $5, $9. Don't believe me, go and see. Logically, it should have been every person there donating minimum few dollars, 5, 10, per lecture. Every lecture should have generated over $200,000 in a logical world. How is it possible that from 30, 40,000 people, only 2, 3 donates? The answer is no one has the merit. Hashem doesn't want to give that candy to everyone. Why? Because it's not just one thing and it's over. It's a continuation, residual income forever and ever. And trust me when I tell you, I met over the years billionaires that are very generous people. They donate millions of dollars every year to a lot of different things. But when it came to kiruv, I saw how Hashem did everything he could not to let them give money to kiruv. Why? Because it wasn't their merit. That's why, because remember, it's a whole different concept. Every mitzvah is support. While the mitzvah has been done, you earn. Once it's over, you have to give again and again and again. You give food to poor family. They need $1,000 to feed their entire family for Shabbat. It's Friday and Saturday. Whatever it is. Next Shabbat, you have to give them again $1,000. Otherwise, they want food for Shabbat. The idea is that you want mitzvot, okay, keep paying. But here it's a different story. With $5, $10, you can save a soul. And you don't have to ever bother with them. You don't even know them. They become religious from your money. You will only find out when you go to the next world. You're going to have the sweetest surprise. You're going to come to the Beit Din, to the court of heaven, shaking. You know yourself. And not exactly Baba Sali, you know. Needless, the Lubavitcher Rabbi, you're not exactly there yet. So, your Shabbos, barely. The way you dress, barely Jewish. Your ideology, barely Jewish. Your kosher food strictness, Hashem Yerachem. Who knows how many worms you eat every day? Who knows? So if you really examine yourself, how you daven, without speaking, without thinking about your business, without coming late, no, let's say it needs some improvement. How you treat your wife and your children needs improvement. Your emunah in Hashem needs massive improvement. Your loyalty, your generosity, well, I can give you a list of thousands of things. Your ego has to be reduced, no? Jealousy, laziness, stinginess, selfishness. Ooh, Lashon hara. Wow, wow, wow. How many buildings fell because of your mouth? Bottom line, you now know, you finally remember all the lectures you heard in your life and all the books you read. You're now in a court of heaven. And you know, who knows how many years I'm going to need this hell to get. Who knows how much hell Hashem is going to give me now. You know who you are. Here in this world, you can fool the whole world. But now you're over there in the court of heaven. You know what's waiting for you. Because when you go to the court here in Manhattan, you always have a hope that you can fool the judge. Who is the judge? Another fool like you. Whatever you tell him, he has to believe. Well, he doesn't have proofs. But when you know you came to the courthouse of Hashem, you're not that stupid. You can't fool him like you fooled the judge in downtown. So now you know what's coming for you. And after you hear the list of millions of problems that you had in your life, all of a sudden, what a great surprise. A defense attorney comes in, an angel, shalom. I came to speak on behalf of my defendant. No, he brings out the file, trillions of mitzvot. There has to be an error here. That's not for me. Say, my client, Marshi. In Israel, they say Marshi, meaning my client that I represent. Marshi also have a lot of positive things about him. Trillions of mitzvot. Moshe Cohen, Yitzhak Levi, Yitzhak Rosenberg. מה זה? Who are all these people? Monthly donation, recurring. 100, 200, 500 every month. Another 2 Baalei Tshuva. Another 1, another 5. It adds up. 20 years, monthly donation. Only a few hundred a month. From the master, which he obligates to give anyway. It's not that he's doing anyone a favor. 10% of what he makes from his net income is not his. He must give out. Keeping it is stealing it from Hashem. So anyway, you have to give. It's unbelievable. Then all of a sudden he finds out he has 300, 400, 500 Baalei Tshuva. I never met one of them. You know who to partner up with. Now you're coming to cash out on it. It doesn't mean he's not going to be punished for all his sins. But after he gets clean, what's waiting for him? Read in Chovot Alvavot. It was written 1,000 years ago. Rabbeinu B'chayeh. That no one can reach the level of his person in the next world, in heaven. No one. Even prophets cannot reach that level. Read his language. אפילו הנביאים השלמים, the prophets of God, Yeshaya, Yirmiyah, Chagai, Yoel, Amos, all these holy prophets, cannot reach the level of someone that saved the lost children of Hashem and reconnected them to Hashem, what we call Kiruv. Remember the most important word in life, Kiruv. Don't ever ask me, how to spell it, Rabbi? K-I-R-U-V, the key word to life of eternity. No joke. And by the way, you don't have to believe me. Ask anybody, any Talmid Chacham, what's written in Chovat Alvavot. I think you have it in the internet even. If you know Hebrew, just Google it. Rabbeinu Bechaye on Ma'alat HaMachzirim B'Tshuva, Mezakei HaRabim. Inspiring the public to become more religious. What he writes, what the Gemara writes, what the Zohar, the Holy Zohar, it's in Parashat Truma. Parashat Truma in the Zohar. Read over there what it says. So since, Baruch Hashem, I didn't write the Torah, but to read I know. That's all I can say. So I read to you some sources. I can give you 500 sources. The Ari, the Zohar, the Gemara in 50 different places. I think 2 or 3 sources is good enough for you, no? If you need more, contact me. I'll give you more sources. I have, my black notebook. I have 10 pages over there with sources. It could be the other way around. You can make a person that was religious not religious. Now you have to pay for all the bad that came out of him and his children until the end of days. It works both ways. You can earn eternity in a higher level, or chas v'shalom, eternity in a worse place. Why? You have to be judged based on the fruits of your action. Meshalem la'adam kepri ma'alalav. Fruits of his action. Time is running out, Rabotai. I just want to finish this. So Eliezer say, maybe the woman will not want to follow me. Of course, every fool knows there is that opportunity. But because of this sentence, Eliezer was blamed to be a crook, deceiving in a scale. Why? Because the reason that he said the truth was politics. I think just for that it was voted for us to come tonight, to learn this concept. Now I want to ask you a question. What's worse, to lie or to cheat with the scale, with the weight? Merame b'moznaim or shakran? It's written in the Torah in 2 different places. One place it says, midvar sheker tirchak. Go as far away as you can from lies, liars, Of course, it's needless to say, you're not allowed to lie. Because even from other people that lie, Hashem say, run away from them. Needless to say that you cannot lie. But there's another verse, Lo tekachashu ish ba'amito. Do not deceive one each other. Velo teshakru, it's also written. Do not lie. In one place you say, stay away from lies or liars. And another place you say, do not lie. So it leaves no doubt. Also, it's written, Dover shkarim lo ikon leneged enai. Someone that speaks lies, I cannot stand him. Can look at him. I can look at him. Who can raise his hand today, right now, and say that today he did not say even one lie? You don't have to. I just made my point. דובר שקרים לא יקול לנגד עיניי. I want to promise you one thing. If we would accept on ourselves one mitzvah, and keep it, we'll be the most righteous people in the world. What is that mitzvah? I accept on myself, no matter what, never to say a lie. Never. Give it a month, you become the Baba Sali. No exaggeration. It changes your entire life, your entire ideology, your entire level of holiness. You become a whole different person. But how difficult it is. Yeah, you just saw that even when you say the truth, you consider a liar. Because you have hidden agenda or hidden personal interest. So I'm asking a question, a very good one. What's worse, to deceive with a scale or to say a lie? For instance, you have a customer, give me 1 kilo tomatoes. You have one weight of 1,000 grams, it's a kilo. When she turned around, you switched it with 750 grams. Now you give her less. 25% you deceived her on a scale. Or you tell her, these tomatoes are not so fresh. This one is from today, this one is from 3 days ago, which is a lie. They bought from the same day. This one is 10 shekel a kilo. This one is 20 shekel a kilo. But it's from today. I just got it from the market. It's a lie. They bought from 3 years ago. You know, like you go to the bagel store. Is the tuna from today? Of course, you're insulting me. Do you know already a week he's mixing it? Because if 1 or 2 hours you don't mix it, the top become brown. That's the trick. Ma, you're insulting me. But later he's going to get food poisoning. No problem, as long as he made the $10 on a bagel with tuna. So the question is, what's worse in the eyes of Hashem? Saying a lie and selling her the wrong merchandise by saying a lie, she believed it and she bought it, paying a lot more, or cheating with the scales? Which one is worse? All of you agree that the scales is worse? Okay, since all of you unanimously agreed that to cheat with the scales is worse, can you give me at least the source and the reason why? Huh? Avla. To lie, it's also avla. It creates a lot of problems. I'm going to give you a hint. Do you remember a year ago I told you a story that... Do you remember a year ago I told you a story that they wanted to pass a law in Israel, in the Knesset, that people that are almost dead, old, brain dead, connected to all kinds of machines, or people that suffer in a hospital, that it will be legal to disconnect them from the machine or to choke them for a minute or two and help them to move to their next station, meaning send them away from the world. It's illegal in Israel. In some countries, maybe it's permitted. I don't know the laws of every country. But in Israel, it's 100% murder. If they find a person who choked someone in a hospital, no matter how much he was suffering, they will press charges against him for murder. Most likely he won't get life in prison because he will prove that he did it for the sake of the person, he felt bad for his suffering. He will get 3 years in prison. Something like that. We'll make a deal. You got it, right? So it's illegal right now. But they wanted to make it legal in Israel. And then the head of the doctors, a big liberal lefty, wicked guy, without saying his name, because I don't remember his name. If I know his name, it's mitzvah to publish him. He got up and said a speech. And thanks to his speech, they did not pass the law. Usually lefties, they always vote for the wrong things in the eyes of God. You never find them vote for something positive. Only negative. Abortion, they pro-abortion. Gay marriage, they for it. Taking money from the rich and give it to the bums who doesn't want to do anything with their life. They love it. Everything that Hashem hates, they love. How all of a sudden this lefty Bernie Sanders, the Israeli version, came up and gave a speech against it? We have to give him a little credit. This time he said the right thing. What did he say? He said, we are doctors in Israel who were trained and educated and swore to do everything we can to save life. If we will now be the terminators, we will start killing people, because every day there's going to be at least one person in the hospital that needs to die, because he's not going to come out of the hospital and he suffer. So we disconnect him for 2 minutes, and that's it. We move him to the cemetery. He catch a bed in a hospital. It costs money also. The family suffer, going back and forth. There's a lot of issues. If we, the doctors that designed to save life, will also have another job to kill people, no one will ever trust us again. We will be heroes and criminals at the same time. Heroes and criminals. Therefore, we do not want to be those who will do the job. It wasn't against killing those people. It's for it. Don't get the wrong impression. Don't give him too much credit. He wants them dead. But he didn't want the doctors to have to do it. For the sick people? No. For their reputation. It would hurt us in the long run. At least he was clever enough to see the future. This story reflects on the question I just asked you. What's worse? To lie or to cheat with the scale? Let's see who is clever. What's the comparison between the two cases? מאין יבוא עזרי? No? I'll give you a hint. What's worse? That the stranger will kill someone in a hospital? Not the doctor. Or that the doctor will choke him to death. If now people found out that some Reuven from the street came into the hospital, he saw someone suffer and he choked him. Or one of the doctors that works in a hospital did it. In the eyes of the public, when will they get much angrier? That somebody just did it, or a doctor that works in a hospital did it? Why the doctor will get people angrier? Because the job of a doctor is to save life, not to terminate life. Same thing with the scale. Scale was designed to make justice, not the opposite of justice. So we're using the scale to deceive. It's using it for the opposite of the purpose that Hashem designed for it. It's a double crime. To lie, it's a crime. One crime. To deceive with the scale, it's two crimes. One is lie, and second is defeating the purpose what it was made for. It's two different crimes. So it's worse. That's why from all the examples that Chazal could have used for Eliezer, they called him a cheater with the scales. Why couldn't they just say deceiver? Why can't they just say liar? Why? They can found many names to describe that what he did was not kosher. No. They wanted to use the example of scales. Look how precise every word here in the Torah is. Why? With the scale, because the scale, it's very easy to make mistake. One side is positive, one side is negative. Eliezer was thinking, is it good that I suggest my daughter or not? Can I see it clearly? Am I objective? It's my daughter. I want the best for her. Will it be good for Yitzchak? I can see. I'm blinded. That's why the Torah says in another place, כי השוחד יעוור עיני חכמים ויסלף דברי צדיקים. Bribe will blind the judges. It didn't say will turn the judges to liars. Crooks, they receive money under the table. They take the side of the criminal instead of the righteous person. Why will they judge the opposite of the truth? They got a $100,000 suitcase yesterday. That's not what the Torah said. For this you don't need Torah. Every fool knows it. You come to a judge, you give him $100,000. I want you to dismiss my case. No, big deal. Of course, if you took the suitcase, you know what's going to be tomorrow. For this you need Torah. In Zimbabwe, in the jungles of Amazonas, those who never heard about the Torah, they don't know that if you give bribe to a judge, it will make the justice not fair. Everybody knows it. For this you don't need Torah. That's not what the Torah claimed to say. The Torah says something different. The Torah says it will blind the judge. He won't be able to see who's right. From the minute this person gave him a gift, he already loves him. So everything the prosecutor say against him, get the judge angry. How do you talk like this against my friend who just donated to me $100,000? You're attacking my friend. I have to defend him. If you connect the judge to a lie detector after the trial, did you deceive in your verdict or no? Absolutely not. You're suspecting me? We want to take you to a lie detector. We want to check if you deceived. Did you receive bribe? You're suspecting me? I'm your honor. Okay, connect him to the machine. They ask him, did you actually rule against the truth? He said, I swear, absolutely not. That's the fair ruling. And the machine shows that he's saying the truth. If he was ruling against the truth, he wouldn't be able to pass the test. It will show that he lies.
But if they ask the question, did you accept the bribe?
Then they will catch him. Did you accept the bribe? He cannot lie. But they will ask him, did you rule honestly? He would say yes, and the machine shows that he's not lying. Why? Because in his mind, he made fair judgment. Why? Because he cannot see negative in a defendant. That's what happened with the lefty liberal prosecutors in Israel. They hate the religion so much, so automatically, every time there is a subject that relates to religion, they can't even see that it's positive. Even if they themselves say to their wife in a kitchen, this is what should be done, the fact that a rabbi now came to the court and said that, immediately they're against it. Why? Or the other way around. If it's a religious judge and a righteous person came and say it, even though he was normally not so much for it, right now because he liked the guy, immediately he adopted. Because I always say, you have to pay attention to what was told to you. Not who told you. What was told. If an anti-Semite goy would tell you something against the Jews, or against you as a Jew, that he works with you in the office and insulted you, automatically you reject what he said. Shame on you, you Nazi. But maybe it's possible that what he told you is true. Yeah, he hates Jews. He didn't tell it to you because he loves you. He wanted to get you. But the question now, when he came to insult you and put you down, what he told you, it's true or not? You can see. Why? Because you hate him. You can see. You cannot let him rebuke you.
You can't be impartial.
Exactly. That's why a Rabbi, a good Rabbi, if he wants to succeed with his student in yeshiva, first rule is to make the kids love him. Once the kid love him, he can always take them to the side and talk to them. They're willing to do for him because they love him. If he will rule them like a dictator and make them all hate him, it doesn't really matter if he will say the truth, they will all hate him. Why? Because they resent everything he says. That's why when you rebuke, there is a rule. You must start with all the positive you can say to the person. You don't right away tell him, listen, I saw you stealing. I saw you. You don't start like that. So listen, can I talk to you? Yeah. You know, you're a great guy. I know you for years. Baruch Hashem, you're very religious. You're such a good husband and a father. I see how you are with your kid. What does it have to do with the stealing? Nothing. You just make friendship now. Because you're not friends with him. You want to rebuke him. You have to create friendship. Otherwise, he won't accept from you. It's a waste of time. You donate so much money to the shul, to the yeshiva. I heard so many wonderful things about. Why are you telling me all these things? You want to marry my daughter? No, don't worry. I'm married already. So what's the problem? Today, when you compliment a person too much, they immediately begin to think, what's the catch? Because no one can accept love today with such a horrible world we live in. So, but in a normal world that people complimented each other, for the sake of heaven, not for personal gain. So you come and say to him, I admire you, I learned so much from you and this. But can I make one little comment? Of course, you're my brother. After all this speech, I saw you taking something that it's not really yours. I mean, should have paid for it. Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know what got into my head. Don't worry, it won't happen again. You understand me, right? Of course, brother. Thank you. Can I get a hug? But if you come to him and listen, come here, I saw exactly what you did. Who do you think you are? You faker. You're walking with this yarmulke on your head? Should I tell everyone what you just did? Will he ever accept from you? He will kill you. If he could kill you, he will kill you right now. So to rebuke, it's not easy. You need to know how to do it. Just before we finish, Rabotai, when we say vidui, we say Ashamnu, we make confession, Bagadnu, Gazalnu. One of the things we say is Ya'atznu etzot raot. We gave bad advice, but that's already included in Kizavnu. Kizavnu means we deceived. You give someone a bad advice, it's deceiving, tricking him. Why do we need to say Ya'atznu etzot raot? The answer means we gave an advice that cannot be proven as a lie. Because everything we say, according to the technical side, it's the truth. But we had a hidden agenda. That's why it's Ya'atznu etzot raot. Like the one who told him, why do you want to move to Israel? You know how many challenges? What's in his mind? The challenges? 1,500 a month, I'm going to have to hire another melamed. You get it or no, Rabotai? Eliezer came with the camels, Rivka comes, she gives water to the camel, she's such a Baalat Chesed, unbelievable. Very nice. Find a very kind girl. Modest, everyone was modest. You don't really have to check modesty. Women never heard about bathing suit in those days. Everyone was covered. So what do you need in a woman now? What do you need in a woman? And this is the last thing for tonight. We'll take 5-10 minutes and we'll finish. What's more important? If you have a woman with wonderful personality but rotten ideology, parents send her to Harvard, Columbia, Yale, and another poison house, and twisted her mind. She hates religion. She's not so much for rabbis. But she's a wonderful person. She's very polite, kind, generous, honest, even modest. She has very good personality. She's merciful. She doesn't lie. Very, very much impressive girl. Intelligent, but horrible ideology. Meaning, what do we need religion for? A woman has the right to do whatever she feels like with her body, meaning she's pro-abortion. Not because she's a murderer, this girl. I just say she's a very good girl. Because they brainwash her in a university that a woman has the right to decide. A man cannot tell her not to abort. If you show her a 1-hour film, what a horrible murder it is to chop a baby with a knife to pieces and vacuum his pieces when you stick it to his head and neck, just because she doesn't want to have a child, because she didn't plan now. She's only 35. It's too early. She's going to change her mind because she's a good person. If she's evil, doesn't matter whatever you show her, she's still selfish. She doesn't care about the baby. But if she's a good person, she's good to everyone. She would see that is a clear murder, she would change her mind. In Israel, they did a test for 3 days. Every woman who already signed and agreed for abortion, once she came already to the hospital to do it, they put a microphone on her stomach and she heard in a speaker the pulse of the baby. Ta-tam, 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 ta-tam. She said, what's this? She said, it's the pulse of your baby. What? Uchai? He's alive? What did you think? Is plastilina? What is he? It's a piece of sheetrock or maybe mud? What did you... they told me it's nothing. It's the 3rd month of the pregnancy. Yeah, it's the size of a cookie. But 100% alive. Ta-tam, ta-tam, ta-tam. Right away, the majority of them got up. Give me the paper. I'm not doing it. Why they don't do it all the time? Because the lefty liberals are getting angry. You abuse the women. Don't do that. Why? We try to prevent a murder. We live in Sodom. People that make the laws are sodomized people. The last thing they care about is murdering 2 million babies. You know, that's the amount of babies they murder officially in Israel. In the first 7 years, since Israel became a state. 2 million babies, it's 1 million families. Today, 3rd or 4th generation would be 50 million Jews. Our heart is totally smashed and broken from 1,200 deceased people and another 250 kidnapped. Almost 1,500 people together with the soldiers that died 44, and roughly about 1,500 victims of this horrible terror attack. And for a month and a half, all of us are depressed and broken. None of us is broken for more than 50 million Jews who were washed down the drain in the state of Israel. 50 million. We cry about 1,500. And we smile about 50 million. And then we worry about Iran will have a bomb or not. Hezbollah will shoot or not. Hamas will do or not. Shtuyot. Rabbi, vaccine is life risk. Of course it's life risk. To one person save a life, the other person will kill him. But if you're so righteous and you're so worried about people's life, where were you all these years when they murdered 2 million babies? When there's no doubt that it's 100% murder. Vaccine maybe will kill you, maybe will save you, or maybe will do nothing. It's still in a matter of argument. Obviously, millions of people got it in Israel, and not all of them dead. So there are people who are still alive. Tov, Baruch Hashem. So it's still a questionable matter. But these people who are so devoted to save life, where are they when they're murdering every day dozens of babies in Israel? Every day. Hundreds. Do the math. 2 million in 7 years. How many is that every year? How many is that every day? Do the math. It's many deaths every day. Much more than what the Hamas or any other murderers killed. Even in the Holocaust, we had few million Jews dead. We didn't reach even 5% of how many we killed with our own hands in the state of Israel. Oh, you don't want the baby? Give him to adoption. Until 20, 25 years ago, 15% of the women and men could not have kids. Give them kids. Why do they have to import some goyim from Brazil? Give them a Jewish kid. You don't want him. Tough. You're young, you're not married. Your boyfriend committed a sin with you. You have a baby. Give him for adoption. Why to murder him? You will kill 2 stones with 1 rock. First, you don't become a murderer. And second, you help a couple that cannot have kids. And you bring a Jewish soul to the world. At least someone will come to the world without killing him. So, forever we're going to speak and complain about the Nazis, and we have all the rights to complain, of course. But why we don't complain about our Nazi act? If the Nazis will do to us exactly what we did to those babies, the Nazis put everyone in a room and gas them. Between me and you, what's worse? To put a person in a room and put gas until a minute later he falls and dies because he cannot breathe? It's like drowning, basically, in the water. Or to take a knife and stick it 5,000 times to him and then vacuum him into a vacuum cleaner. That's an abortion. Like this. They put the hands inside. It's called greda. Greda means to scratch. You know, you have scrape. That's the right word. And you know what they do? I saw a lecture from a baby doctor from Mexico in one of the seminars with presentation. 500 people sit in a seminar, and then he shows like a puzzle. Little head, little hands, legs like this. Tiny, very tiny. It's small. It's the 6 months, 7 months. It's very small. Not even a pound. And he'd say, you know what's this? That's what they do after they finish the abortion to make sure they didn't forget anything inside. So they put all the pieces together. When they see a complete thing, they dump it. Then he showed 2 big buckets like this, huge garbage bags, full of organs of babies that they chopped to pieces. And he said, you know what's this? Everyone is in shock there. Women are crying, because you know how it is. There are women in the audience that made an abortion once or twice or 3 times with the horrible lifestyle they live. And now it hit them for the first time what they've done. They were not aware of it. When you don't think, you're not aware of what you are doing. And when he showed the 2 big garbage things like this with hundreds of pounds of organs like this, he said, what's this? He said, all the pieces from the abortion that they do every week there in the hospital. What are they doing with this? One person asked. He said, they sell it to China. Why? The Chinese eat it. That's what he said. I would never dream such thing. That's what he said, the speaker, is a famous doctor and also righteous. They eat it. Well, after you see, they eat cockroaches and worms and dogs. Everything is possible. It breaks the heart. It breaks the heart. This is all the lefty liberals. Look how much we suffer from them. Look. They are the ones who keep pushing it. I want to tell you a story. There was a member in the Knesset. His name was Shmuel Tamir. 30 years ago. One time he brought a law to the Knesset to approve, to make abortion legal. Right now, until then, they did it in private clinics. He wanted to make it completely legal. Nobody has to go to committee, no investigation, nobody asks you why you want to abort. You go, and they do it for you in the hospital. I just like to give you a shot. That's it. In the middle of the arguments in the Knesset, one religious man came to him and whispered something to his ear. His name is Rabbi Porush. He said to him, can I tell you a story? He said, yes. He said, 45 years ago, a woman wanted to make an abortion. She already paid the doctor and made an appointment. When she was already ready to go and do it, one religious rabbi came and begged her not to abort and told her, I'll give you money, I'll do whatever you want, I'll help you to raise the kid, please do not kill him. And she agreed not to kill the baby. And that baby was you. And the rabbi who convinced the wife not to do it was my father. I said, come on, you and your nonsense. Why are you telling me this story? I said, call your mother, ask. In the middle of the argument in the Knesset, he's the one who pushing it. He called up his mother, tell me, this story is true? She said, yes. That rabbi convinced you not to do it? Yes, I was very much into it. Thanks to him, you came to the world. He said, I'm canceling my law. We wanted to pass the law. I'm canceling this. It's just to show you that in the end, it all comes down to personal feelings and interest. What changed? The truth is the same truth. But now when it became his matter, how can I suggest such a thing when I myself came to the world thanks to anti-abortion activists? Rabotai, listen to this. she gives water to all the camels. Why the Torah has to tell us about the camel now? Who cares about the camels now? Tell us a whole story that she said, let me give also water to your camel. So the Torah wants to show us that she was very kind, more than the average. She could have said to him, here is the water, do it. I'm not your worker. Even though I was standing there, let me also give to your camels. What's special about the word gamal? Camel in English comes from the word gamal in the Lashon HaKodesh. What's so special about the gamal? What's the meaning of the word gamal? Gamal means to pay back. To pay someone back. Someone did you a favor, 2 months later he needs a favor, you pay him back. Why did you come to help me? Because you helped me 2 months ago. How can I say no? It's called gomel. When someone is kind, how do you call him in the language of the Torah? Gomel chasadim. Gomel chasadim. Gomel means pay back. But you never did anything to me. I just did you a favor for the first time. I owe you nothing. Why I'm considered gomel chasadim? If you did a favor to me and I pay you back, that's gomel chasadim. You did chesed, I return chesed. But if it's the first time I see you, you're stuck in a highway. I stop. Do you need help? Yeah, I have a flat tire. I don't know what to do. Let me help you. You come, you fix, you put the tire. Wow, thank you so much. How is this person called? Gomel chasadim. Like we said at Tefillah, gomel chasadim tovim. But Hashem give us kindness even when we don't deserve it. We didn't earn it most of the time. Gomel chasadim, free chesed. So why we call Hashem gomel chasadim? We should have said chasid, oseh chasadim. Why gomel? Gomel means to return. Oseh chasadim is doing chesed. You understand the question or no? Because the only time and the only way to do an act of chesed correctly is when the person you're doing him a favor will never be ashamed of it. You make him feel that you owe him. I owe you. You know how much you inspired me. I'm honored. Wow, you give me this chut. Thank you so much for helping me to help you. I'm not helping you. I owe you. What do you owe me? I didn't do anything for you. No, believe me. I see how you come, how you pray every morning. It gives me inspiration. Believe me, I owe you a lot more. He make up a... Why? If you come to him, listen, you don't deserve it, but I'm going to help you anyway. You make him feel like garbage. Can't sleep at night. Why are you so upset? He saved you. Yeah, but he had to say this to me. Punched me, pinched me in my stomach. But when you say to him, wow, I'm so honored, I had such a zchut, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the merit to help, to do. Thanks to you, I get, Baruch Hashem, Hashem will have mercy on me. It makes you feel great that you receive help. Do you understand? What's the best way? You can give charity to a poor person, but there's a better way. Say to him, I have a job a little bit in my house. I got a closet from IKEA, whatever, one of these places. I'm not so good. I'm not a handyman. I heard you know how to put things together. Can you come help me? I'll pay you for that. Of course. How much you pay him? It's an hour work. How much you pay a worker in New York today? $20 an hour. You give him $100. It's not $100 job. He only work 45 minutes. Pay him like a lawyer almost. They all do the closet for me was all an excuse. You wanted to give him $100 to help him out. You know he's poor. You wanted to give him $500. But you know he's a person that doesn't like to receive help financially. So you created for him something to do. Can you help me painting? He worked 3-4 hours, give him $1,000. You could have given it to him without the job. But he will feel guilty. You make him work a little bit and you give him some. Why should I pay you less than a lawyer? You're a Bachur Yeshiva. I should give you less than a crook lawyer from Manhattan that all day lie and deceive. If I pay him $600 an hour, I have to pay you at least $1,000. Listen, but I'm a Bachur Yeshiva. But he doesn't deserve the dirt on the sole of your toe. And I have to pay him $600 an hour to represent me in court. Or to my accountant. They're not even Shomer Shabbat. Everything they say, it's a lie. They care about me. They care about their pocket. The last thing they care about is the client. It's all about how can I get more money. That's why divorce cases by them never end. They'll stretch it as long as they can take the last penny from you. They don't want to finish it. The longer it takes, the more money they make. But why so many people suffer? The kids, they don't care about the kids. They care about their stomach. So you're Bachur Yeshiva, reviving the whole world. Thanks to you, we are alive. You did a job for me for an hour, and I'm going to pay you less than this crook. But how many Jews like this you know? When the Bachur Yeshiva come, they give him $30. Can I make you a sandwich, Moshe? $30. Like the people who stand on the street looking for a job. If people would follow the Torah, they would give him a huge amount of money. Huge. Why? Not for him, for the Torah. I want him to sit and learn Torah, have a peace of mind, have a few hundred in his pocket. This is my opportunity to support Torah. You should also know, when you go to a wedding, you give a gift. Whatever the average gift. Let's say you and your wife give normally $300 when you go to a wedding. Let's say. Now you have a wedding of a Bachur Yeshiva. Not fancy. It's not a Bukharian wedding. You don't have 7 floors. Not even 1 floor. What do you have? Sweet cucumbers with some onion, challah, chicken soup from the time of Antiochus, white chicken, if you're lucky, piece of kugel, Baruch Hashem, shtabach shemo, $12, the whole meal. They didn't spend $150,000 on flowers, the wedding gowns from the Gmach. Let's say it's not the type of wedding that you're going to gain weight tonight. Now you come, you think, how much I cost them, me and my wife? $100, the most. How much should I give? $1,000. When I go to the fancy wedding, I cover my cost, let's say. That's my rule, let's say. Whatever I know more or less I cost, I pay. But when I go to a wedding of a Bachur Yeshiva, I'm going to give 3-4 times more. Not because the wedding was expensive, no. Because I want to donate to the Bachur Yeshiva. Now the question is, can you take it off your maaser? The answer is, this is how it works. What you normally would give a gift to a wedding like this, very simple, cheap wedding. You're going with your wife, let's say you give $200, let's say. And now you give $1,000, the $800 extra, you can deduct 100% from your maaser as a donation to Talmid Yeshiva. And actually it's better to give it this way, because he doesn't get embarrassed. I did a wedding, it's normal that people give gifts. I don't give usually $1,000, but he doesn't know that you gave him only because it's Bachur Yeshiva. For him, it's a gift. But you had in mind to donate to him a lot because he's a Bachur Yeshiva. What if he's some kind of a bum? All day, happy hour. You know? He also have a little yarmulke, like the Prime Minister, you know, that tiny quarter. No, what would you do? You have to be a fool to give him an extra penny. Give what it costs, that's it. Every other dollar is a waste of money. It's like burning your money. What is he going to do with that? Going to learn Torah with that? What is he going to do? Send his kids to the best yeshivot? Buy Gemarot that he can sit and learn day and night? Usually that's not what they do. So you have to know where to invest, Rabotai. And I keep repeating it because people are not getting the point. So Gamal, Rabotai, why they call Gamal Gamal? Listen carefully now. in Perek Shira, it's written, Gamal Omer, the camel, every animal have a statement. What's the statement of the camel? Hashem imaro mish'ag. Hashem is shouting from heaven. Umemeon kodsho iten kolo. And he sends his voice from his house up there. Sha'og ish'ag al naveu. He screams on his house, meaning the temple, the Bet HaMikdash. That's why the temple is destroyed, because instead of killing us, he killed his house. He threw his anger on wood and stones. So that's what the camel says. Rav Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal says, all the animals, when they come to attack, they want to eat. Why animals attack each other? For one reason, to eat, not to die. Just to eat, to survive. It's a survival war. So when the animal comes to attack, they all come very quiet. The leopard. Very, very quiet. The fox, when it comes to the chicken, very, very, very quiet. Very quiet. And that's when they got to a position that can attack, boom, they jump. But in the meantime, in the whole process, is very, very quiet. Why? They deceive their prey until it's too late to run. The camel is the opposite. He makes a lot of noise when he comes to attack. He makes noise. Why? He's a tzaddik. He learned the Rambam in Ilchot Melachim, the laws of Melachim, Rambam in the 6th book, from the 6 ones. Halacha, the 7th provision. It says like this: when you attack a city, to capture a city, you now want to go into a war against Gaza, according to the laws of God, not the Israeli army, or Benny Gantz, or Bibi. According to God, the laws of the divine laws, it's written in the Rabbi, how you make a war against your enemies. Even for that you have laws. What do you think? You just take a gun or a knife and you go and kill? No, no, no. So, the Rambam writes, כשצריך על עיר לתופסה, when you attack a city, to capture the city, to occupy the city, אין מקיפים אותה מארבע רוחותיה. You don't come from all 4 directions. You leave them one side to run away, push them back. You don't want to kill them first. That's not the first priority. You come from one side, left, right, and from the front. What about the back? Let them run, like the Israelis did now. Run to the south of Gaza. We won't attack you. We can kill all of you. No. We rather that you run. Why? We don't have a war with you. We have a war with these Nazis, Hamas Nazis. Run. We could have ambushed Gaza from all directions and butchered all of them. Actually, that would be a one-day job, not 45 days so far. One-day job, just dumping, killing every building with people, with civilians, everyone dead, and that's it. By the time you finish in 1-2 days, you have 1 million people dead or more. And there's now one house left, and they will run anyway. But that's not the way we do it. We are not Nazis like them. We want the civilians to go, even though I'm telling you 100% there's almost no civilians there. Everyone there is a terrorist. Everyone is happy when Jews are killed. They dance, they give candy. They're very happy. When they burned the woman, you saw how they were all clapping when she's going on fire. Women, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Happy to see a woman is getting burned alive. When they see how they, whatever other things they did to the woman, you had to see how many people came, and I was so happy. There's no difference between the one who shot and the one who clapped, and the one who gives candies. Everyone is a Nazi. Everyone. I want to remind you that 65% of them vote for the Hamas. What about the other 35%? Either they did not vote, or they vote for Abu Mazen, another terrorist. A little bit less. That's it. Also denied the Holocaust, also wants all Jews dead. Also a terrorist, student of Arafat. So, Rabotai, the Rambam writes, you give them one direction that they can run. אין מקיפים אותם מארבע רוחותיה אלא משלוש. You only ambush them from 3 directions. You allow them to run for their life. We learn it from God's instructions to Moshe in a war against Midian. From here we learn, you do not do everything you can to kill them. You rather that they escape. And that's what the camel does. The camel that is feeling threatened by another animal, when he wants to attack that animal, he makes a lot of noise. Why? He rather the animal would run. He doesn't really want to kill them. That's why they call him Gamal. Meaning Gamal is Gomel Chasadim. We have a bird that's called Chasidah. Chasidah from the word Chesed. Chasidah, why the Gemara say why the name of the Chasidah is Chasidah? Because it does act of kindness with her friends. So why it's not a kosher animal? Most of the birds are kosher. But Chasidah is not kosher. Why? If Chasidah is kind and does act of charity, why wouldn't it? Chasidah is not attacking and murdering other birds like the eagle or other birds. Chasidah, it's gentle. It should have been kosher. Other birds that are not murderers are kosher. But Chasidah, exceptionally, it's not kosher. Especially when you call the Chasidah, what does it mean Chasid? Someone that does chasadim, chesed, act of kindness. But something is not kosher about the Chasidah. The Chasidah is racist, prejudiced, racist. She's willing to help only her own kind. What are you? I'm Satmer. You Satmer? No, I'm Vishnitz. Go to Vishnitz to help you. What are you? I'm Tzanz. Why you came to me? I'm Bobov. Okay, now there are 2 Bobov. Which Bobov you are? This one or that one? That one. Go over there. Who are you? I'm Sfaradi. Why you came to me? Go to the Moroccan rabbi. I came to, but you're not Halabi. Why you came here? And I will finish with a beautiful story. Most people are not like that. They help all Jews. Doesn't matter, Sfaradi, Ashkenazi, Hasid. If someone will come to me, the last thing I care about, what kind of a Jew he is. This kind or that kind, or Hungarian, or Russian, or Moroccan, or Yemenite. Shtuyot. Only a fool is thinking this way. And makes Hashem very angry. The Hasidah is not willing to help other birds, only her own kinds. That's when Hashem say, you're not kosher in my eyes. You're an impure bird. Why? But I do kindness all the time. But not to everyone. You're a racist. I cannot stand racist. I have a friend, Baruch Hashem, I had the zchut to make him Baal Tshuva many years ago. Listen to this story, you'll love it. He's working, he makes a living, but, not enough. Lots of people struggle now. It's hard to pay the bills. So one time, someone told him, go to a gmach of Syrian people. Syrian, Baruch Hashem, they have a lot of foundation, they help people to send kids to yeshivot, which is a very big mitzvah. There are a lot of rich millionaires here. They give money, and people that come, they show they have low income, and they want their kids to go to yeshiva. They don't want them to go to public school, so they help. So he came to a place, and they gave him a nice amount of help. But listen, they have thousands of people. They can't give full tuition, so they help a little bit. Give 1,000, 2,000 to every person. After he proves that he is a needy. The year after, this person went to a shul in Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah, I don't remember, one of those 2 days, and someone said, I want to sell this aliyah, the price is $4,000. And looked at him. No, buy it. He said to me, I'm not rich. How can I pay $4,000? Buy it. Show Hashem you trust him. Don't be afraid. You'll get it back. The guy is telling me now the story. He said, I don't know, like a fool. I said, okay, 4,000. He said, sold. Sold. Then he said to me, then I started to think, how exactly I'm paying this? He said, no, don't worry, you can pay it in payments. You have a year to pay. Divided to 12 payments. He's thinking to myself, okay, you taught me about a lot about the faith and confidence in Hashem. I said, it's time to prove that I have confidence in Hashem. This guy have one wonderful thing about him. He's a very honest person, very honest. And he does not speak one word in a shul besides praying. Nothing, not after davening, not in between. Not even when he walk into the synagogue at 2 p.m. to take something and someone is inside talking to him, he doesn't speak. He doesn't say one word in the house of God besides praying or Torah. So now he needs to go and apply for help for his children to go to yeshiva for the next year. They told him, go to this Syrian Gmach. There is one rabbi is in charge of the money. He's going to make you fill up the paper. He's going to make an interview with you. And then he will decide how much to send you. He said to me, I'm going to the place. People wait online. They called my name. You write your name. They called my name. I walk inside. I see it's a shul. The rabbi is sitting inside the shul to interview the people. I went inside. He said to me, what's your name? I said, He said, I went like this to him. Let's talk outside. He didn't understand what I want. I mean, he's doing you a favor. Now you're telling me, come outside. You came for help, no? He said to him, you know, like this, 5-10 minutes. He's thinking to myself, he said to me, I already knew my chance to get money out of this guy is probably went down to zero. But I made myself a promise, I never say a word in a synagogue. Now, this particular gmach, the maximum they ever give to a person is 1,000. And that's someone that is really a needy. The maximum. So, okay, that's also help. You can get a little help. He said to me, I wrote down my information on the form before you go, they make you fill up the form. Trust me, people who don't have what to eat, the maximum they can get there is 1,000. So he said to me, you see how I bought that aliyah? Hashem sent me back the aliyah. I was thinking to myself, why that Syrian rabbi in charge of the Gemach sent him 4,000? Because he was a smart Jew. I would have done the same thing. Why? When you see a person that needs money and needs your help, and he does not agree to talk about his problem because inside the shul, when he needs you, okay, just now I'm going to talk. I usually don't talk, but now I'm in an interview to get help. It's pikuach nefesh. He saw that Jew is a man of the truth. No matter what, needs money, not, he's still not going against his minhag. That's why he sent him 4 times than what he sent to others. This is the kind of Jews we have in the world. Baalei tshuva came out from a world they didn't know that much, and they become more righteous than people that were born religious all their life. Not to say one word in a synagogue ever. Not only with the tefillin. Some people with the tefillin, they don't speak until they take it off. Okay, it's also very nice. Some people in the middle of davening, they don't speak. Even in the times when you're allowed to speak, but in the shul, they don't speak. But when they finish, they fold the talit, tefillin. People have conversation in a shul. They don't wait until they go to the parking. That's different kinds of levels. To be in such a level when you need the money and not to break your devotion, that's a great thing. This is a moment of inspiration. Thank you very much. Baruch Adonai Leolam. אמן ואמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא